far from here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do, there is nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the nightmare, but when I stopped to see through sight, begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now, to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others. I've got to try it. If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'm falling asleep when I'm home. When I'm no place to go, no one that can see through at the time of the light. I can see my life is crap, I have to see them too. I just live into my world, far from the pain, the feel. Just out of reach of desire, was not aware of the start of hell, but when I stop to see through sight, begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now, to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others. I've got to try. If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'm falling asleep when I'm home. I was so wrong, I was so blind, I was so dumb and out of time. I was so wrong, I was so blind, I was so If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'm falling asleep when I'm home. When I'm If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home. When I'm home. I was just so far from here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do, there is nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the nightmare, but when I stopped to see through sight, begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now, to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others. I've got to try it. If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't
Introducing GeForce TV. GeForceTV.net is your new source for action overload. Featuring free live programming year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, GeForce TV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action. See live Friday Night Excitement weekly from Washougal Speedway, and watch the stars of tomorrow make a name for themselves during Thursday night's live microsprint racing. GeForce TV is also the new home for Rivals Race Chat. Watch weekly as Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross discuss all the hot topics in the world of motorsports. For iRacing fans, GeForce TV has you covered with hours of live broadcasting from Rivals and GeForce TV racing leagues. GeForce TV promises to deliver motorsports, esports, and action sports you want to see, along with talk shows and vlogs to keep you connected to the lifestyle you love. Visit GeForceTV.net today to subscribe for free. Sit back, hold on, and feel the G's on GeForce TV.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen, welcome live tonight here on some dirt track racing here. Cedar Lake for the hometown heroes, and we got a good night for you here. As well, I got John and Roger up here. They're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with our Gambling Motorsports pre-race show, and obviously we talk about Gambling Motorsports week in and week out. Check them out on Facebook. They're an awesome race team that does a lot in iRacing, so definitely check them out. Get a likes and shares out there. Guys, going to be interesting tonight.
Oh, I think we got a great night planned here, Joe. It's ladies' night tonight, and we'll start out with the 305s, which have been just such a popular division. We're averaging almost 40 entries every week, and we're going to follow that up with the ladies. They'll be in the 305s, and this is their inaugural race with the GeForce Racing League, and really excited about it. They've had a couple of practices and been doing a really great job. They've adjusted to the 305s better than I did when I started iRacing, so looking forward to that. And then we're going to finish off the night with the Bandit 410s, and should be a great night.
Yeah, I think all around we got a nice points chase here in the 305s here to start the night. Daniel Vaught will be looking for 2 in a row, and yeah, I'm going to talk him up a little bit, being a teammate and whatnot. But he won last week, so the point leader is got a little bit of a cushion. But one race, we saw it happen to Brian Moore Sr. last week. He got in a little bit of trouble, and he fell from 2nd to 5th, I think, in the points. So it's tight up there, and it's still a week-to-week battle.
Yeah, Dan's got a fair jump, but there's Nick Vickery and Lane Snooks there in the lurch, and Blake Chapman, Brian Moore Sr. These are all top runners. Brian Moore Jr.'s in P7, and Jeff Barker's there, and Kyle Parker. I mean, we all know that name. So there's a bunch of guys in the hunt in this with 5 weeks to go. I'm counting tonight, I guess.
Yeah, and with the car counts what they are, you have a mistake in the heat race or something. I mean, Lane's no stranger to this. You get stuck in the C and have to work through the B, and you can have a real long night real fast in these cars here with the turnouts we've been getting. But the lady night, I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a real neat deal. I know that my wife sees me in this rig a lot. I spend a lot of time on here, as well as all these other drivers, and now they get to share and kind of experience what we do a little bit, and hopefully it brings a little bit of understanding, and maybe even get them an extra night of racing to see how fun it is. Who knows? And maybe even get some grudge matches if any of these couples are competitive like my wife and I. My wife and I are the closest we've ever been divorced in about 17 years is playing board games and trying to beat each other. So I don't know how competitive some of these couples are, but if they are, who knows? Maybe you'll see them get their own rig and come out and trade paint with us.
Do we know which ones are going to be out here tonight?
There's been quite a few out to practice. There's Christina Barker's been out with that's Jeff's significant other. Kate Schultz, Mike Schultz's wife, Penny Lee Cranmer, Preston's wife, and Lynn Cranmer. Mike, that's Preston's got his mom and his wife, so he's torn here tonight. And Blake Chapman's got his mother running. Bob the Good has his wife running, Gayleen Jackson. Yeah, the list goes on. So and we have Jackie Chalmers coming in. She is from Scotland, and she's one of our top Skippy drivers. And so she's been trying out the 305s, and she had fast time last night. She'll be one to watch for.
I think it'll be a good night all around. Really entertaining racing. The big 410s are in here too, and I know I'll be running that show a little bit later, and that's always a fun time.
That's the Bandit 410s, right?
Yep.
Nice.
So then, and Connor Ross will be joining us for a few track reports through the night, so it should be a good night.
Oh yeah, it has been lately here in the Hometown Heroes. I mean, we've had a good season so far. Good car counts coming out. Like you said, y'all guys were talking about that beforehand. Just how the turnouts, and I know y'all was also talking about the track, which is something else we've talked about with the 305s earlier on. I think from what we've seen at the beginning with the 305, where they just wasn't quite sure. Now these guys are kind of getting a little bit of a handle on what the 305 will do.
Oh, absolutely. You can see it in the lines they run and how they've kind of perfected the slider line and the passing. I think we're seeing more passing than what we did early on. More clean passing, I guess I should say. So guys definitely have their cars under them a whole lot more than what they did when we started out at the beginning of the season.
Absolutely. So it ought to be a pretty good one, like you said. So we got a full night here of racing for you. As always, for the Hometown Heroes, we got our Gambler Motorsports guys here and winding it down for the pre-race show. That'll send us into our VMR Wraps, one of the newer sponsors here that came on board. Appreciate them guys coming on board here tonight. That's going to bring our qualifying in. Plus, don't check out what our standings look like, because we got iRacing League Manager. If you run a league, own a league, do anything with a league, check out iRacingLeagueManager.com.
Qualifying's going to be interesting tonight. We've got, 2, 4, 6, 8 cars within a tenth of each other on the practice sheet. So I think we're going to be, everybody's going to be under a blanket for these heat races and whatnot. So they'll make it very interesting. And my recurring theme, Joe, is that mistake that'll take somebody in a transfer position out. So we'll see if that happens here in any of these heats tonight.
Yeah, I like calling it mental mistakes. I caught a lot of that on the NASCAR side of things, because really you get pit stops usually the number one thing that I say over there that attribute to mental mistakes. Here I think on the dirt, like you said, it's just pretty much everything is involved. You got to get that slider just right and put that cart where it needs to be. VMR Wraps qualifying session up here. Here we go. Tonight, let's see who puts this thing up here on quick time here early on. And Lane says he's not lagging tonight, so that's good. That could be bad for the field.
That's what I was thinking, Joe. It might be good for him, but it won't be good for anybody else.
Absolutely. Even when he was lagging, he was catching the field. It's like, really? I mean, some of these guys are hoping the computer blows up. I mean, I don't want to see his computer blow up, but I know probably some of the guys back in their mind going, what do we got to do to stop Lane? I mean, we can't flatten one of his tires just as virtual, so what do we do?
I wonder if Lane put a call into his cable company over the weekend. Got that straightened somebody out anyway.
Absolutely.
Well, Lane was busy on the weekend. He was down in Virginia racing karts, and then back in Pennsylvania, they drove overnight to get from one track to the other, and so he had a busy weekend. He won a few of those features, so
nice.
He had a good feature, but a tiring one, I guess. So. He'll be ready.
Maybe that's what they need, is just to tire him out. But obviously, he's young. With never mind, he just put it up there in the top charts, second overall to Garrett Pepiot, though, by 1/1000th of a second. Never mind. Here comes Donovan Ross shaking up the field a little bit. Look at that, a 74, 75, 76 for the top three. You can't get much closer than that.
No, you can't, and that makes every mistake that you make in these heat. It just amplifies it, because if you mess up just a little bit, you get passed by one or two guys. I mean, there's just no room for error when you line up and fire off in your heats.
Wow, that's That is definitely close quarters. And then you've got, Tom Taylor sitting in fourth there. It looks like it's almost a three-way tie, so it's not only thousands, folks, it's hundreds of thousands separating them. Brian Moore Sr., Jeff Valero there, and then Nicholas Riggers. So really throughout the whole entire field, it's only separated not even a quarter of a second, it looks like.
Yeah, and our jinx of mentioning drivers last week, we talked to Brian Moore Sr. and I think it kind of jinxed him. Now I talk up Daniel and he's mid-pack, so I guess the jinx continues. If I mention your name, you're going to have
broadcast jinx. It happens.
Yeah, must be a real thing.
It is. Every time I start praising the guy on the track, he's doing really well or something. Next thing I know, he hits the wall, and I'm going, all right, forget about it.
You've done that to me enough, Joe.
I know it.
Announcer's curse.
Announcer's curse. I'm telling you.
Yeah. And
maybe if we start talking about Lane, maybe that's what they want us to do. Talk about Lane the whole entire time, and he'll just hit the wall. That's what the other guys are going. Y'all go ahead and put your concentration on him.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what's ironic is with everything being so tight like it is, even though the 410s are a little harder to drive, not making the mistake in these and keeping your track position is actually more important and a little bit harder than what it is in the 410, because one little mistake here, you get past the 410, you got the power to kind of make up, maybe overcome a slight mistake. You don't have that here. If you mess up and break your momentum, you could lose 2 or 3 spots. So that these guys, this is a little more difficult than even though they're a little slower than the 410s, there's some things about them that are a little more difficult than the 410s actually.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, we've seen that in the past too. You can kind of like throw that 410 in, get a little bit better slide on it than you can these 305s. See, they kind of bog down. So all about that momentum and keeping the momentum up. We'll just have to see what happens here as we get set for Heat Race 1 here pretty soon. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We got a good night here for the Hometown Heroes. Our Wednesday night here for the GeForce Racing League. It looks like a good field too. Right now I'm showing 29 machines.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice field. We'll send some guys home, unfortunately, but you know what? The field's tight, and that's the big thing. Whether it's 20 cars, 40 cars, 50 cars, you get a tight field, you just know you're going to get some good racing.
Oh yeah, and I think that's the thing with the 305s is we've seen a lot of really tight fields. As opposed to the 410's been tight also, but I really with that 305 it's pretty much whoever makes the mistake, I think. And we've seen a lot of times and a lot of heat races, last lap, last turn, been some mistakes made, and guys were in the show, and guess what? Then they had to run the long way around. But that pulls us over here to A&J Custom Creations, Heat Race 1 here tonight. And if you've not checked out Andy Patton and Company over there on Facebook or GForceRL.com and looked at some of the craftsmanship that he does on his trophies and woodwork and plaques and all the products he does, go check him out. Definitely give him a like and a share and hit him up one day because he does some outstanding work at A&J Custom Creations. Who we got on the grid here tonight?
On the pole, we've got from Hamilton, Ontario, Andrew Smith, and on his outside, A&J himself, Andy Patton, is on the outside of row 1. Row 2 has Brian Moore Sr. and Donovan Ross, a couple of sim racing concept teammates. Row 3 has the Iron Man, G.J. Boydell, and Mike Cranmer on his outside. And row 4 has Wyatt Whipple, and Nathan Aldrich is the race control tonight, so he will not be gridding, I don't believe.
Doesn't look like you will. So brings up 7 cars out here. 4 go to the feature. Like you said, and Andrew Smith out there. Andy Patton, we just talked about it. A&J Custom Creations own right there. So he's looking to get into the show here in his own heat race here.
Yeah, you got a stack first row, stack second row, stack third row. I mean, you can be right up there in that front row, and like we were saying earlier, as tight as it is, you miss turn 1, you're going to come out of turn 2, not in first or second, but 4th or 5th.
Absolutely. Just waiting for the pace truck to crank up here. These guys are rolling. Maybe it's waiting. It's got to wait since Nathan's in there. It's got to wait till the time runs all the way down.
Yeah, that's correct. The engines will get a little heat in them anyway. Maybe make them a little faster here on the start.
There you go. Yeah. So we always talk about the 305s, you know, obviously the less power, the 305, 360, 410s. We talk about that a lot. You know, night and day difference going from a 305 to a 410. How big of a difference is it going from a 305 to a 360?
It's still a significant difference. The 305, I would almost have my foot in it. Like at the track right now, I wouldn't take my foot out of the gas. The 360, you'll lift a little bit going into one in these conditions. Not a lot. I mean, you might go to about 95%, 90 on the throttle, just so you don't get the tires spin. So there's still enough power in those 360s to spin them a little bit. And, the car will react a little bit quicker. So you move your steering wheel, one way or another, turn in. The car will cut a little bit different having that power across that back axle. But they're both equally as fun. I mean, sprint cars are great cars to drive.
Oh, yeah, and I've always said that, now it seems like on iRacing, from what I've seen, obviously, is late models, the big blocks, maybe the UMP, stuff like that, are more popular. But in real life, sprint cars really, and I think the World Outlaw has a lot to do with that too. But nonetheless, we're going racing here. A&J Custom Creations Heat Race 1. Andrew Smith gets a good jump out there. They're already battling there for that third, fourth place spot. You got Brian Moore Sr., Donovan Ross, Andy Patton right there, GJ Boydell outside looking in. But man, they're already putting some good slide jobs on each other.
Yeah, they are, and the top four just kind of nose to tail coming out. But it looks like the third place there, Mr. Moore, is looking to the inside of Andy Patton here coming out of turn 4. So you might see a challenge for that. And now Andy's looking on the outside of the leader as they come out of turn 2.
Yes, it is. Right now, the outside lane looks pretty good. We've seen that several times as you might try that low line. So Andrew's trying to see if he can't get that low line in the groove. But so far, here comes Andy on the outside. I'm getting them kind of confused there. Andrew and Andy, kind of really close quartered names. But man, look at Andy.
And look at Donovan right behind. We're side by side, the first 2 rows. Excellent racing to start the night.
Absolutely. You got Donovan Ross hanging on to the 4th place final transfer spot, but he wants 3rd place for Moore Sr. Mike Tranmere right there, though. He's outside looking in. GJ Boydell and Wyatt Whipple, unfortunately, crashing in the back. So that's going to put Mike right there outside looking in. He's hoping maybe that Donovan and him gets kind of tangled up as everybody's kind of single file for the top 4.
Yeah, they're being very patient here. Maybe they've heard me talk here over the last couple of weeks about being in a transfer position and throwing it away a lap or 2 for the end. So I am seeing a lot of patience and give and take here, which is a good way to start the night.
White flag one more time. A&J Custom Creations and the man out front that owns it, Andy Patton, right there coming into turn 3 and 4. Final time, and there is contact out of 4. We've seen that time and time again. Boy, I tell you what, if Mike Cranmer was just a little bit closer, I think he might have snuck up there and took it away from Andrew Smith, but he hangs on to the 4th and final transfer spot. Andy Patton, though, brings it home here tonight for heat race number 1, and that's what we've seen in these 305s here the last several times. They get into each other coming out of turn 4. Wow.
We're lucky we have a virtual pits, or I'm sure you might see a driver walk down to another man's trailer and discuss what they're going to have for dinner after the race. I think that's usually how those conversations go.
It's terrible. Puts us up to heat race number 2. Howard Hanna Real Estate here, the #1 family-owned and operated independent broker in the U.S. Folks, if you need anything done when it comes to real estate, whether it's a commercial or residential, definitely check them out. Scott Hurwitz and Company will get you fixed up and done right here tonight with Howard Hanna Real Estate. Heat race 2, who we got on the grid here tonight?
From Laverne, Minnesota, Spartan Racing, we have Lance Rivka on the pole, and on his outside, Brian Moore Jr. And then speaking of independent realtors, we got a couple of independent drivers. Row 2, Jeff Flaro from Cornwall, Ontario, and Garrett Pepiet. I think the Michigan Madman, he calls himself. Row 3 has from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, part of the Gambler Motorsports, Zach Chapman, and a teammate of his on the outside, Connor Ross. Starting in the 4th row on the inside, Mike Shaughnessy, and then 223 of Brandon Templeton. No, he's in the next race, sorry.
He's in the next, yeah. Mike Shaughnessy, one sitting there in the 7th place spot. We got 7 of them here. 4 are going to go to the feature. We got Brian Moore Jr. in this one, so we'll see what happens as the pace truck's in. Green flag flies. Howard Hanna Real Estate Heat Race 2 underway. Already side by side here. Be careful. Don't want to get no contact. They're 3 wide.
A little less patience already in this one. They're 3 wide as they go across the start-finish line for third. They stayed 3 wide through first turn 1 and 2. It looks like they might start to get it sorted out. Still 2 wide, though, for third as they come out of turn 4.
Yeah, Connor Ross hanging on barely to that 4th place spot. He's got Jeff Flair right there beating down his back tail tank some, though. He's got Zach Chapman on the outside looking in. Shaughnessy's back there. He's lurking. He's hoping those guys might get in a little trouble and he can sneak it on up in there. Meantime, more juniors out front leading it. Lance Ripka's got his hands full with Pepiot.
Yeah, they are slicing and dicing a little bit here, and the groove is widened out a little bit, so you got a couple more options than what you did in the first heat. So you can make a couple different things work, and passing is a little easier than what it was earlier.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Zach Chapman right here hanging on to 5th place. He's watching the battle in front of him with Connor Ross. Connor's looking on the inside of Pepiot, who was up there battling for second a little bit ago. Now he's back on the inside trying to take another slide job. You got Ross right there sitting in the 4th, Zach Chapman, but this is kind of what we saw in qualifying. Yeah, he might think he's fast, but this is kind of alluding to the times we saw. Everybody's just kind of dead even right now.
Yeah, they're dead even, and the laps are clicking off here. We got 1 to go. I don't know if anybody will make a move for anything here on this last lap. It doesn't look like anybody's really close enough to try any kind of Hail Mary passes. But no, you got Chapman trying to take it to his teammate and kind of come up a little short at the checkered flag.
Yeah, look to the inside there on Final 4, but wasn't able to get it done. Connor Ross hangs on the 4th, and out front there, Moore Jr. pulls it off. Brings us into heat race number 3, coast-to-coast sim racing team. They are brought up, man, by U.S. and Canada-based coast-to-coast drivers here on the GeForce Racing League and have been here since the beginning. Who we got on the starting grid here on this heat race number 3?
We've got current point leader Daniel Vaught. An interesting story about Dan Vaught is his dad and his uncle have both joined GeForce Retreads. So they came out the other night and we had a good run, and they were good drivers right out of the gate. So Dan's on the pole, and on his outside is Josh Gerlach. Row 2 has from Wilson, North Carolina, Nicholas Vickery, and on his outside, the mayor of Cedar Lake, Lane Snook. And then one of the guys at Top Runners in the Renegades division, up-and-comer, Blake Chapman, is in row 3 with the first ever champion of GeForce Racing League, Terry Landis, on his outside.
Nice. Here we go again. Set. And Lane actually said Mom made him call yesterday, so trouble for the rest of the field. And he says, please don't say his name. So Lane Snook's going to win this heat race. So there you go. I don't know if that's going to jinx him or if I just downed all the other competitors in the track, so we'll have to see. Green flag, Daniel Vaught out front. We got Josh Gerlach right there behind him, though, and Lane's hanging on the 3rd. Victory's out there in that final transfer spot. Landis is in 5th. Chapman back here. Battle for the lead, though, between Vaught and Gerlach.
It looks like Daniel is kind of trapped on the inside here, and the outside looks to be just a little bit quicker. He's going to have to try to slide in behind Lane, I think, here before that closes with Nick Vickery.
Yeah, Vickery's right here in that 4th and final transfer spot. He's watching that battle in front of him. He's going, y'all just tag each other just a little bit there. I mean, these are open wheel style karts, folks, and wing style sprints. So you can get up there, you can touch a little, but I wouldn't advise it. And you talk about.
Wow.
Well, I'm not going to say it, but I did say.
Joe, this one's on you.
I did
I'm
say.
I'm gonna time blame. That's Joe's fault.
All Joe's fault, all of it.
Woo! That was you could not have.
That'll be a feature EOL for you next week.
That was right there. Unfortunately, we just saw Lane Snook getting popped up into the wall. It just looked like we was just talking, maybe just a little contact or something right there. But I did say at the beginning of the race, he said don't say his name, and I said he's going to win, and we just, I just jinxed him. So there you go. Gerlach still leading it. Vault's in 2nd. Vickery there in 3rd. Chapman in 4th, and Land is still sitting out. So we got a battle for 2nd here, though. White flag.
Yeah, 1 to go, and Nick was making that inside work a little bit. He's the first driver now since I've seen the track widen, get down there and make some ground up, especially off the corner exit there, and it's just not quite enough as they take the checkered flag.
Absolutely. Heat race number 3 here, coast to coast, and Gerlach's going to put it in victory lane. And I appreciate that lane out there. He said it was the lag's fault, so there you go. So, he didn't blame it on Joe, which, I mean,
we are. We're blaming.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you, it just seems like it's a certain that if you just out there start saying somebody or talking about them really heavily, boom, they wreck. Well, that puts us in Heat Race 4. Mr. Plummer, one of the new sponsors coming on board here, folks. If you're in the Atlanta area and you need a very well trusted and experienced style plumber, check out Mr. Plummer and Company there. They will definitely get you hooked up in Atlanta's most trusted name in plumbing and drain service here. Who do we got for the starting lineup here in Heat Race number 4?
We're going all around the world on this one, Joe. First of all, from Clarence, Iowa, on the pole, the mayor of Clarence, Iowa, Steve Bixler. On the outside from Brewerton, New York. We call him the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. And then from Australia, driving for the Firm Motorsports, Jamie McCarran. And on his outside, the Texas Tornado, Tom Taylor. Row 3 has Brandon Templeton and Don Dory. A couple of Canadians are back. Don Dory from Grimsby, Ontario, and John Rayner from Brantford, Ontario.
Yeah, you're right. So we got some American, Australian, Canada. We just need a UK person in this one, and we'll just have it. We'll just say this is the world event heat race here. So
the United
awesome.
Nations heat race here.
That's a good one. Yeah, we'll turn it from the hometown heroes of the United Nations one here tonight. But I want to appreciate shout out to Icon Sim Sports here for being a title sponsor of our hometown heroes. The series so far, and it has been a very good one. I appreciate those guys, everything you do. We'll talk about a little bit them later on. You can see a little video of what they do and the things you look for. As we're getting set here, Heat Race 4, green flags out. Stephen Bixler out front along with Jeffrey Barker. Those two guys are 3 wide already with McCarran.
Yeah, McCarran is right on those tires. That's feast or famine down there. Usually when you're down there, the slightest bit you hit one of those tires, he'll lose 4th if he hits them. That's for sure.
Yeah, and he's right there sitting in 4th place with Stephen Bixler, Tom Taylor and company. But behind him, you got Donald Dory, Templeton. They got a good battle going on. They see it right there in front of them. So that whole pack is kind of right there in a bunch. Anything can happen.
Yeah, and he moved up off the tires about a lane, and he easily pulled it into 2nd place.
Good run right now, but meantime, Barker's the man out front, loving it. They're making contact up front. That's between McCarran and Taylor. You also got Bixler in the mix, and I know Dory and Templeton back there is chomping at the bit going, guys, y'all just keep that up. We'll sneak up here and take this. And there you go.
Wow.
It happened. Wow.
Yeah, and the thing is, you sit behind him. When you see guys running that hard, it's always interesting to be behind them because on one hand, you're like, okay, if someone makes a mistake, you know you've got them. But on the other hand, you don't want them to make a big mistake and take you out with them.
Absolutely. And it can happen. I mean, depending on how close you are, sometimes it's a risk versus reward. Right now, Dory does have that 4th final transfer spot, but he's got Rayner all over his back tail tank right there with Templeton. So they're still close. Rayner looks to the inside. Here's another 3-way battle. That's for the final transfer spot as the white flag flies. One more time. Who's going to get it?
I don't know. They're going to settle it amongst themselves over here in 3 and 4, and it's anybody's race at this point as they come out of the corner. Looks like Donald Dory. Yep.
Dory hangs on to it. Barker's going to be the man who puts it in victory lane here for the heat race number 4 here for the Mr. Plummer. That was a solid heat race there. That puts us into, should only have a B main here tonight. And I'm going to say that should be only 4 drivers go to the, is it 4 or 8?
Actually 8.
8, okay. I always get the math. I'm sorry, folks. I always get the math sometimes confused. We go 4 to 3 heat races and stuff like that. So math never was my number one thing. But I tell you, SBGC 3D printing, Tom Taylor and company does outstanding work with the 3D printing that he does. And he is our title sponsor for the B main here. Who we got on the starting grid here tonight?
On the pole, we've got Iron Mike Cramner from Central Garage, Virginia, and on his outside, Zach Chapman. Row 2 has Terry Landis, and on his outside, Brandon Templeton. In row 3, the 121 of Wyatt Whipple, and on his outside, the number 200 of Jeff Flaro. Then starting on the next row, Lane Snook on the outside. Well, he's on the inside looking out, but he's in a precarious position there. And John Rayner on his outside. And then we have a G.J. Boydell in here, and Mike Shaughnessy, Brad Wright, Jamie McCarran. We got some good runners in here.
Yes, we do. And unfortunately, 4 of them going to go. Well, 3 of them going to go home because Brad Wright looks like he didn't grid up.
And we got a handful of A-Series drivers in here, so this one should be pretty good.
Yeah, right now, outside looking in, Shaughnessy, McCarran, and Boydell as the green flag flies, but we've seen all night long how that could change because mayhem can stir up on the front side, and you're already seeing them 2 and 3 wide up there for second, third, and they're already crashing. Mike Trammer's around, Rayner's around, G.J. Boydell's involved. Wow, that almost probably going to wipe out the 3 as you see Boydell's upside down. Rayner, he's off the pace. Cranmer's way off the pace. That puts Wyatt Whipple in the last final transfer spot. But, yeah, just like that. Wow.
Wink of an eye. And I'll tell you, I don't know if Mike Cranmer is in VR or not, but if he is, I'm sure he's probably a little dizzy. He took a heck of a on the front straightaway.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple times, especially the other week. I was watching the demo derby race we were watching, and we saw the one car just totally just spinning around. Yeah, I'm wondering if he's still head spinning from this day on. But right now, good battle going on here. Terry Landis, Jeff Flero, Lane Snook right there in the mix too. That's about second, third on back. Because, well, you got Chapman out front. Flero tried because there was a lap car right there around him. It hit the wall.
Yeah, I think he got in the wall a little bit trying to get out of these guys' way, but right now you've got Jeff Flero all over the back bumper of Zach Chapman for the lead.
Good run right now. Mike Cranmer is not giving up because you never do. You never know what's going to happen. He's sitting right there in the 9th place. Wyatt Whipple's hanging on to the 8th place final transfer spot. Shaughnessy is there in 7th. He's battling side by side with Templeton. Again, these guys have to realize up front here because they are still racing each other hard. You got Chapman, Flero, Snook right there, all 3 in a line. You know, if they get up there and take each other out, hey, Cranmer could sneak in here.
Yeah, with 1 to go here, I got a feeling no one's gonna give up on this one. I think each one of these guys are racing like they want this win.
Oh, and they do as they come into the final turn, final time, they're beating and banging. And look at Lane Snook. He just said he went from worst to first right there. Pulled it off. That was a smooth move right through the middle. I didn't mention his name, what's it called this time.
It goes back to what I said. Everybody as tight as what they are. The slightest little mistake or whatever. Zach went from 1st to 4th there, which is a tough break. But that's just product of close racing. And, you know, one mistake, it costs you.
Well, I'll tell you what, it brings us into our Icon Sim Sports intermission here, folks. And Icon Sim Sports, I want to appreciate them being a title sponsor here tonight for the Hometown Heroes. And if you're looking for a rig that is definitely going to fit you and make you feel like you're actually in a real cockpit, I mean, that's the one thing I think that makes them stand out from the others. There's a multitude of rig companies out there, but they actually will build one that will fit you, whether you're short, big, tall, little, whatever. They will definitely get it suited for your needs. So check them out at iconsimsports.com. We're GeForce Racing League here tonight. We can sit and talk about this for hours on end, but go check out GeForceRL.com. You'll find out all the information you need to know about the GeForce Racing League. Justy Six iRacing Photo Driver of the Week. I want to appreciate Justy Six coming on board here for the season. As always, we're live tonight here on the GeForce Esports as Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday nights. Definitely hit the likes and shares out there tonight. And gentlemen, it's been a good one so far. We're going into the feature here, the 305. Should be a wild one. And then we got some other great things happening here.
Yeah, we do. It's going to be a fun-filled night all around. I'm chomping at the bit after watching these guys. It sure looks fun out there. I can't wait for the 410s a little later, and I climb aboard that rocket, and hopefully I can get that Epsilon Sprint Ramps Cruise Shop Sprinter up front.
There you go. Well, I'll tell you, I don't know. Roger still in here? You fall asleep on us?
Okay. Nope, I'm awake.
Well, just making sure. I see you've got wanting to get up with a driver and get a word with him.
I was going to grab Connor here and get a track report from him.
All right, go ahead.
Just gotta find him.
Why not? I mean, we're just sitting here. We're talking about what the night we've got going on. Definitely, Icon Sim Sporting Company there. I see a Joe Halter out there, and I hope, Joe, I've been saying your name right, Halter. I kind of struggle with the Halter, and that's just my southern accent that's getting in my way a little bit. Yeah. So, yeah, Halter. I hope that's how you say it.
Well, Joe, we got
Halter, probably.
Joe Halter. But we got Connor Ross here, who qualified in his heat early on. So we're going to get a track report from him. Are you on the track right now, Connor?
Yeah, but I just wrecked, so I'm pulling off.
You got to watch that wall coming out of you there, Connor.
Yeah, it definitely. It'll definitely bite you in the butt if you hit it.
So the track has changed dramatically from. I think you were in the first heat, were you not?
Second. But still, it's changed a ton. What? Usually, I find it slicker than this in the 305s. You still, but.
I was just going to ask, how different do you feel it is from how it was last week when you guys were at this point?
I think it's definitely a lot tackier than what we were at last week, but it's still definitely getting pretty slick there. There's a lot of grip still up on the high side, so I think the first 10 laps, I want to say, throughout the majority of this race is going to be a high side, and maybe you'll start to see guys on the bottom.
I want to ask something here that's interesting. I don't think we've asked this question, guys, to any driver or really ever talked about it. We are on the same track week in and week out, and on the same car week in and week out. How does the track change a lot from week to week, or do y'all feel any difference between week to week as a driver? I know y'all talk about it, but how do y'all feel that as a driver on the track?
I don't really think there is much of a difference between the track states. Like, each feature you look at has been pretty slick, especially the 410s. That's basically slickened off top from bottom, and even the 305s. There's still a bit grip left in the track, but I think you come in tonight knowing that it's going to be slick. It's not going to be that tacky.
So, yeah, and the big thing is week to week when you're in the same car, your circumstances, if you're up front, you start in row 1 or 2, you're going to drive a little different, use different lines than what you would if you're buried back and you've got to pass cars, because you've got to pass cars where they're not. So your circumstance actually dictates what the track feels like for you, because you've got to run in certain areas based on that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like, especially starting at the back. If I say I start in the B and I transfer into the A, I'll be not a lot more aggressive, but I know I got to pick multiple cars off each lap so I can get up to the top 5 at the end of the race. And you're going to use multiple lines. It's not going to be bottom or the top, because you already know guys are going to be at the bottom and the top. So sometimes you might have to use a slider line or the middle.
Well, and I was just interested. That's the question we've never really brought up too much of or asked, because we are on the same car, same track a lot of times each week, and just how different it is between the two. We'll appreciate Connor Ross coming up here, giving us a little insight. We'll let him get back down there into his cars. We're getting set to go feature racing here, and again, we hear drivers talking about how the track's tacky, this and that. I just was kind of curious on that. I mean, obviously it's not like in real racing. Which we are real racing with real guys. It's going to change no matter if you was on the same track or not because of moisture and all that. Now, dynamic tracks are there as far as iRacing goes, so I think the track could change some. As the night goes on.
It will change a ton just in this race here from where they're at now. If you look at your cameras and whatnot, and everybody who's watching, look at the very top. You'll see where the black line is, and look where the black line, where the track is slick, up to the wall. There is a good distance, especially coming out of, from about the center of 3, coming out of turn 4. Towards the end of the race, if you pay attention to how much higher that is, and it'll be the same on the over in 1 and 2, that's what really will change. Now, you look at the bottom, and it won't change as much, but we need to get to the starting lineup here before I completely nerd out.
Yeah, no doubt. Icon Sim Sports feature here tonight. We got 24 drivers out here don't know if we're going to get through all of them, but at least we got Andy Patton sitting on pole.
We got the A&J, former Air Force veteran, Andy Patton on the pole, on his outside Brian Moore Jr.
Yeah, we
in
got
row
to talk that one a little bit.
Josh Gerlach and Jeff Barker are in row 2. Row 3 have Brian Moore Sr. and Lance Ripka. Then we have Dan Vaught, Steve Bixler, Donovan Ross, Garrett Pepiot, Nick Vickery, Tom Taylor, Andrew Smith, Connor Ross, who we talked to, Blake Chapman, Don Dory. Then we got Lane Snook starting in P17. Let's see what he does tonight. And Jeff Flaro, and then Chapman, Landis, McCarran, Templeton, Shaughnessy, and Whipple.
Yeah, and unfortunately, while I was going through that, we were watching the Malcolm Mills replay because Steven Bixler hit the wall coming out of turn 4, and I kind of rode the top side there and has expired for tonight. You know, kind of took it behind the wall, so that's kind of bad break on his end.
It was over actually coming out of turn 2, and I can tell you where that pit road comes out, it really narrows. You'll see a lot of trouble probably throughout the night in the 410s and in here. As you come out of that corner, especially if you're on the cushion, it gets real narrow real quick. So that's a real trouble spot on this track for sure.
Absolutely. We've seen it time and time again. Guys get up there and wall kind of just jump out and bite you. It happens, like you said, get up there on that cushion. And we talk about the cushion a lot. I say a wicked cushion. What's up, Brett Wheeler? How you doing out there, man? I tell you what, good old Brett out there, doing a lot of races with him. But, man, right now, green flag's back at it again. They got one a single file start. I know Andy Patton loves that. And I think right now Indy's like, hey, I'm out front leading this thing. Brian Moore Jr.'s right here behind me. We'll have to see who can come up. Josh Gerlach's right there with him, and you got Brian Moore Sr. hanging on.
Yeah, about a good 2/3 of the field are on the top side. That's going to burn that top off quicker that way. So look for lines to change here pretty quick. Probably I'd say about 10-15 laps in here in the last 5 or maybe 5 to 8 laps. It's going to be, a war zone out there. Everybody's going to be going for it.
Good run right now. We still got an awesome battle happening up front, though. Andy Patton's trying to hang on to it on the top side. Moore Jr.'s there along with him. Gerlach behind him. Here in third, Moore Sr.'s tackling on him some. Here comes Jeffrey Barker. So everybody's kind of still close quartered style racing. The biggest battle's happening here for the lead between Andy Patton and Moore Jr. Looks like Jr.'s going to be able to get him.
Yeah, it was a nice move there he put on Patton, but Patton's trying to come back on the lower side. You see Josh Gerlach there wanting to join the party up front.
Yes, it does. Gerlach goes up high to that cushion, going to see if he can't run the backside of him. And follow the tire tracks there of Moore Jr. On the meantime, Andy Patton's going to bring it down low. We've got Gerlach also down low there, along with Moore Sr. Those two are battling for third and fourth place. Barker's behind him. Unfortunately, Andrew Smith crashed in the back. We're still in the green.
Dean Snook got tangled up there, too, got halfway down the straightaway, but managed to keep it going.
Yeah, he's still back in 18th place spot. Just kind of marred back. He loves that high lane. One of those with Stephen Goldner, who said he's waiting for the 410 bad boys to come out later on so he can step into that. We know he loves the high side. Lane's still running at around 18th, but still a huge battle going on up front with Moore Jr., Andy Patton. Got a good battle here in about the middle of the field. Daniel Vaught, Nicholas Vickery and company.
Yeah, the first half of the field now, you got about half of them up top, half of them up bottom. So you see the track starting to go through that change, and both lanes are kind of working here a little bit more, providing some good side-by-side action.
So far, so good. Looks like the high lane's hanging right now, but that low line, they're being able to utilize it. As you see up front, they are still tackling. Tom Taylor around, caution out. Let's go back here on the Malcolm Mills replay and see, and it looks like Tom just up our wall riding a little bit. Got the wall, got off of it, and then decided he was going to go tackle that tire.
It looked like Tom got into the wall actually going into turn 3, and I think he probably bent something because his car kind of looked like it was crapping a little bit down that straightaway.
And him and that tire just did not work out too well.
Oh, the tires both on the inside and the outside. If you want to wrestle them with your car advice, they usually win.
The tire's going to win. Yep. We've seen that time. Roger knows that quite well.
Yeah, it's not a donut. It's not a real donut. You try to take a bite out of it, and it's not very tasty.
I always like referencing it as the donuts out there, a little white powder. But you're right, they're not soft like one. So, what's up, Preston? How you doing? Stuck watching the broadcast tonight. Wife has taken over the rig. Well, hey, she's going to be out here racing a little bit later. So, but why didn't you race early on, Preston? I mean. There you go.
He was on his way home from work, so he
okay,
can't get home in time. But a little bit of pressure on Penny Lee. She won the feature last night, so maybe it's that announcer's jinx I'm doing, but don't want to put too much pressure on her. But she did win the feature last night in the practice.
See, already. That's going to be on Roger if she hits the wall. Okay, Preston, that's on him. Green flag. Brian Moore Jr. back out front. Andy Patton sitting in second. We got third place Gerlach and Pepiot there. They're back at it again as they're already 2 and 3 wide back there.
Yeah, they are. It's a traffic jam from second, third, fourth with Garrett Pepiot and Moore and Patton and Gerlach. They are just going at it. And once again, side by side, 2 rows deep behind the leader.
Yeah, Moore Sr. right there in 5th place. Daniel Vault sitting in 6th. Jeffrey Barker there in the 7th place spot. Pepiot in 3rd. Gerlach hanging on to 2nd. Moore Jr. in the meantime, he's got a little cushion on his lead, not much, because Gerlach is right there on his back end, and now he's going to sling it down the inside, try to put a slide job, and he does. Beautiful. Problem is, too much momentum.
Yep.
And that was a perfect example of 305 just bogging down.
Yeah, he threw it in there pretty hard, and the momentum just carried him up a little bit. He did a really good job, actually, not tagging that wall there. But I'll bet you he learned something. I bet you he learned something. So you watch for that move again with maybe a different result.
Yeah, if you can get close enough to him. Unfortunately, it tears up so much momentum in these 305s, and we talk about that week in and week out of how it is to trying to get these things wound back up. It's not like the 410s. You mash the gas, they go. As Jeff Flero crashing, and yep, we're in the caution. Let's go back on the Malcolm Mills replay here. See what might have happened here with Jeff. He's back here in that orange machine. Kind of by himself right now. Oh, just got that right rear into the wall.
Yep.
Snuck out, bit him. Well, that turn 2 loves everybody. Then he
it does. And I know the wall, it's the outside wall doesn't do anything like that. But coming out of it isn't lower than the rest of the wall. But boy, when you come out of that corner, it sure feels like it sometimes when you're up there. So it's, like I said, that's the real trouble spot on this track sometimes. A lot of times getting up out of that corner and not catching that wall.
And a lot of it too. I mean, right there really helped. Didn't help. We've seen time and time again with the sprint cars. They get up there. It is a fine line between tapping the wall with that right rear tire. I kind of understand the reasoning why they do it is to straighten the car a little bit or keep it from over rotating or over spinning out. Basically, they're using the wall, but there again, it can be a danger zone because just like there, we just saw it actually got him a little bit out of shape, threw him up on the wall, and unfortunately his night's done.
It should be a good finish, guys, because they're using all the track now.
Yeah,
so
that's
far
about what I was guessing. The last 5 or 6 laps, it's going to be even top or bottom depending on how you run it.
So does Gerlach, where he's sitting at though, remember he put that slide job on earlier, or does Pepiot have it? Pepiot's going to go high, Gerlach's going to go with him, Andy Patton's going to be the one to go down low. Looks like the high lane was able to take it. Boy, Gerlach Pepiot got a good run, but then Moore Jr. said, I'm going to come up here and throw the block on him.
That he did. We got 1 to go.
Doesn't matter what happens here, and he killed himself on the track. See what happens. Yep, last turn, final time. Moore Jr., Pepiot, drag race out, and well, I couldn't see who won that one at first, but Moore Jr., the reason being is because he blinked out, folks, going across the line. So that is probably to be the first time I've ever seen that happen. Actually, a ghost car won the race.
They gave it to him.
They did. Wow. So Brian Moore Jr. wins it. Pepiot in second. Gerlach comes home in third, and a wild finish to that one.
Yeah, that was too bad for Andy Patton. Ran a great race tonight and just came up a little bit short of the finish line for that last podium spot.
Yes, he did. And I think if anybody probably is sitting here going, got lucky on it, it has to be Brian Moore Jr. because coming across the line, blinking like he did, it just right timing, I guess, of how that happened. Normally, It could have threw him back in several positions, but hey, gave him the win here tonight. So we'll get these guys up here and get a word with them. Who we got? We do got Garrett Pepiot down there. We can bring him up, get a word with him right fast.
Hey, Garrett, congratulations on a second place finish tonight. How'd the track change throughout that race?
I didn't feel it changed all that much. It got a little bit slicker, but it was fairly racy.
I saw you had a real good run to take the lead there with about a lap and a half to go, and then Moore put that slide job on you at the end there. As you came out, did you have any thought of maybe just trying to cross them over, or was the bottom just not there to do that, to get the slide job done?
I thought he was going to short slide it, so I couldn't get around him, but I think he left a decent amount around where I could. I just lifted and tried to save both of us. I wasn't. And then I kind of crossed him up going on the front stretch and slid him, and I kind of missed my line in 1 and 2, and I didn't get the power down like I wanted to.
Nonetheless, you guys put on a show. The top 4 or 5 cars there were pretty much, especially from about lap 14, 15 on, were just side by side. That was a lot of fun to watch. Anybody that you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, Velocity Race Designs for painting my car. Ford Entertainment Group for building me my PC. Alex Hanna Gaming. Race Lab Apps. Joe for streaming this for the fans to see, and Roger for putting on this awesome league.
Thank you very much. Great run tonight. Congratulations. That was Garrett Pepe, second place finisher tonight.
Yes, it was Garrett Pepe right there doing a good job coming home in second, like you just said. We got old Gerlach here too, third place man. Bring him up, get a word with him.
Hey Josh, nice job here. You got a podium, third place tonight. How'd the race go for you?
Oh, it was good. It was a little interesting. I sent it a couple times, and I wasn't sure if I was going to make it out of turn 2, but Brian and Garrett and I were just talking that I don't know if I've seen that close of a finish in a long time, especially on the dirt. That was a fun race.
Yeah, it was about lap 14, 15. It looked like the bottom to the middle kind of evened up with that top side just a little bit, or it became more of a fair fight. And the top 5 were just side by side under a blanket those last 5 laps. It was really, really entertaining to watch. How were you strategizing, through all that? You knew everything was on there. Were you trying to like plan a lap ahead, or were you just driving right what was happening right then and there?
Yeah, early on, I knew I needed to get to the top just to not lose track position, and because as you guys have seen over the last few weeks, that it's pretty top heavy to start. But yeah, just keep it clean. Especially into turn 1, the top had really gotten pretty slicked off, and entry was a little treacherous. So if you could hit it really well, you can kind of hit a bump or a rut or something and get a nice launch off the corner. But if you didn't, you could really get eaten up from behind.
That was something I pointed out too, that with everybody is one little mistake, you can go from first to fourth in the blink of an eye. But
absolutely,
that was a great run tonight. Anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank Netcode Esports, netcodeshop.com, alwaysraceday.com, and my team at Dizzy Motorsports. Can't wait. I need to get out of here and let my wife Allison. She's going to run the ladies' night here and let her get some practice in.
All right, then we'll let you go. A great job again. That was Josh Gerlach, the third place finisher for tonight.
Yes.
Good run there from old Josh, like you said, coming home in third, having an outstanding run. But this guy right here, boy, came up and clutch, winning it. Brian Moore Jr. joined the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Well, pretty good. I tell you what, was kind of a little worried there when you blinked. That's the first time I've ever seen a ghost car win a race.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with my internet out here. I'm a little bit outside of town a little ways, so I think about 15 megabytes a second is as good as I can get. It's not quite good enough, I don't think. I blink a lot in the broadcast.
That's crazy there, but hey, still brought it home in victory lane here tonight. Now you can go and brag to Senior and say, hey, I won a race.
Yeah, and I did it on the top. I don't know where he was at, but I bet he was back there running the bottom. So
I've got to ask one question. Do you two have any kind of side bet for whoever beats who on it? I mean, does somebody cook dinner or buy a beer? Any kind of bet there at all?
No, we don't. We haven't had anything there yet. It's really just for bragging rights.
That
Awesome.
sometimes is more than enough.
Yeah, that's all I need so far. But we might step it up and put something else on the line now that you mentioned it.
Come over and
All
mow
right.
my grass, or you go over and mow his
Oh,
grass,
yeah.
or whatever the case might be. Yeah.
His yard's a lot bigger than mine, so.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, man, Brian, right there, awesome win tonight. You got anybody you want to thank for coming out here, putting on a good show?
SRC, Scotty Edwards, Donovan, Jack, all them guys. They helped us get in here pretty good, and Dad keep me going and keeping the pressure on me back there.
Hey, there you go. As always, there's your winner tonight here in the 305s. Out here for the Icon Sim Sports Hometown Heroes, Brian Moore Jr. putting in victory lane. Well, I'll tell you what, fellas, we're going to leave here. Don't go anywhere, folks. We got some awesome races. We got the ladies and girls going to come next, and they're going to put on a show that's going to be really different than what we're used to seeing. So tune in. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
It all starts with the right house. That's where we come in. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
People want to have a one-stop shop. They need us for now all these different services, not just the heating and air side.
When things are going wrong, you want the company that's going to be able to get things done as fast as possible for you.
Today we're going to be in over 600 homes. What the customers can count on is we're going to send a competent person to your home with a vehicle that's stocked and prepared. We're going to do what's right.
Right now, we're waiving our $79 service fee with any Cool-Ray, Brightbox, or Mr. Plumber service.
From finding the perfect house to making it your home, we'll be with you every step of the way. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Introducing GeForce TV. GeForceTV.net is your new source for action overload. Featuring free live programming year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, GeForce TV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action. See live Friday Night Excitement weekly from Washougal Speedway, and watch the stars of tomorrow make a name for themselves during Thursday night's live microsprint racing. GeForce TV is also the new home for Rivals Race Chat. Watch weekly as Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross discuss all the hot topics in the world of motorsports. For iRacing fans, GeForce TV has you covered with hours of live broadcasting from Rivals and GeForce TV racing leagues. GeForce TV promises to deliver motorsports, esports, and action sports you want to see, along with talk shows and vlogs to keep you connected to the lifestyle you love. Visit GeForceTV.net today to subscribe for free. Sit back, hold on, and feel the G's on GeForce TV.
All right, folks, we're back here. We got the GeForce Racing League here tonight, Cedar Lake, dirt track racing, and well, These are the ladies, and it could be some girls. I don't know what kind of age limit we got going on. I mean, we talk about that with the retreads. We talked about the age limit here in the GeForce Racing League is so diverse. But tonight, tonight is kind of a little bit different with the ladies we've got out here, and pretty much every one of these ladies out here, they are either a mom, a girlfriend, wife, a significant other. I never understood the significant other part, but maybe you can chime me in on that one. But it basically they're related to every one of the drivers out here. So now we've got. Normally we're used to seeing the guys in the rigs. Tonight, the guys get out of their expensive rigs, and I know they probably had to be pulled by the hair or slapped in the head a couple times, because you know how we are about our rigs there, John. Well, that's our pride and joys. And they're going to let the ladies step in. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what we're going to see here on the track and just see what kind of talent these ladies got.
Oh, I expect good racing here tonight. I think that I know that they've put in some practices and stuff like that. So I think they're going to be prepared and put on a good show. But, it's kind of cool. I mean, my wife sees me here for hours on end behind the Oculus driving, cussing at somebody usually, And, here's a chance at for the people that see that same thing my wife does to get in and maybe experience that a little bit. And as someone who I've been married for 17 years, 16 years, and I can tell you it's always cool to be able to sit and share something with each other. And this is just another opportunity at it. So I do hope everybody has fun. I would like to see the advice that's be given out.
Well, we've got some out there. Mike Schultz says that's his wife out there. Obviously, we see the Mike Schultz out there, the number 16. So that's his wife actually driving. And I'm with you there, John. Been married for 20 years, and I started with the iRacing stuff. I loved sim racing, and when I started doing the broadcast stuff, my wife sits behind me sometimes. All she hears me though. This is funny because on the broadcast, y'all hear everything. You hear John. You hear everything going on. All she hears is me talking at a TV. That's all in a microphone. She's going, you know how ridiculous you look, right? So, hey.
I thought the same thing. I've got this Oculus on, and I'm just sitting here randomly talking to myself. It looks like probably. And what's worse is that moment where I'm cussing at nobody. So, I'm sure there's some point in time you wondered, if you keep this up, when am I going to know when to put you in a home?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've got one Oculus too, and I love it. And I remember the first time putting it on, and I looked over here, and and my wife walked by me, and I was looking. And I said, "Hey, there's a seat over here beside of me," and I'm over here looking around, and she's going, how funny you look, just pointing at the sky and all. So, nonetheless, VMR qualifying session underway, and Jackie Chalmers. Okay, I appreciate that. A little help there. I apologize for messing up some names out there. But on the top right now with a 13:34, wow, because Barker ran a 13:75.
Yeah,
and I remember that's Jackie is the one that is from the Skip Barber one that Roger was telling us about.
Yes, so she's got some experience and probably a lot more than what everybody else does.
Safe to say she might be our Lane Snook here in the ladies.
She very well, but there'll be an invert, and they'll.
Oh, okay. So tell us about that. Tell us what they're going to do. What are they doing? Are they doing the normal heat and then normal?
There'll be 6 lap heats with 3 going to the features. So not quite as long as what we normally see with the 8 laps and the 4, but there was
20 lap main.
Yeah.
So it's 3 going to the feature, and then from there, depending on how many, obviously, we're probably only going to have, it looks like maybe 2, might have 3 heats out here. I don't know how many they set up on the field. But, so 3 going to the feature. Actually, from the whole field, everybody should probably go.
Yeah, everybody will eventually make it on in, but the people that'll go to the B, which will be very beneficial because it's going to give them extra seat time.
Oh, absolutely.
So that'll be a good thing. But Jackie, we were talking. We had Jamie McCarran from Australia. Now we've got Jackie from Scotland. So we've got that United Nations theme keep on going. And Scotland is one place I've always wanted to go. So I'm really jealous that I would love to go there. So
Paris would probably be my thing. If I had to pick a place I ever wanted to go, if I could ever leave the U.S., it'd be Paris.
Paris is absolutely breathtaking.
I know I'll never make it in my lifetime, but hey, it's awesome.
Yeah, I'll tell you the other thing. If you ever do get to go over there, you should rent a car and at least drive the tunnel, and that's the
big circle
tunnel. No, it's the tunnel that goes
beneath
English. It goes beneath the English Channel, so you can drive from France to England.
Wow!
And it's about a 30-some-odd mile tunnel, I think. I don't know the exact mileage, but you're under there for a while. That's a very interesting experience, I'm sure. So,
well, CW says go. Shawnlee Whipple. I hope I said her first name right. So Shawnlee Whipple right now is starting qualified in P4 with a good lap time.
Shaylin, I think.
Oh, Shaylin. Oh, shit. My bad. I apologize on that one. And like I say, some of these names I might, butcher, by the time tonight's over with on them. And now that's one thing I want to see. I'm guys, y'all got, look. I love, y'all know when I do the broadcast, I love family interaction. And that's the one thing that I have an advantage over that real announcers don't, is I can interact with the viewers and the folks watching the show. And I love it. Friday nights, I usually, Nick King and those, they have what they call they have their fan club, man. They have like 3 or 4 of the family members out there pulling for them. So I want to see you guys out there pulling for you ladies here as we're getting set for heat race number 1, A&J Custom Creations. A&J Custom Creations, well, if Andy Patton right there, he does some awesome work with his CNC and the craftsmanship that he puts in. Check him out on GForceRL.com at A&J Custom Creations. Here we go. We got Preston Cranmer, and I'm going to name it off as it is in here. Obviously, it's Penny. That's right.
Penny Lee Kramer on the pole, then Gretchen Chapman on the outside.
Maybe you'll know the names, and there you go. And we got, was that Allie Haught? Is that right?
That's right. Okay. Looks right to me.
All right, looks like. And then we were just talking about Jackie Chalmers sitting there in fourth. Chalmers? Is it right?
Chalmers.
Gotcha. All right. And then Lynn Cranmer. And now who's Lynn Cranmer? Is that Mom?
That is Mom.
Okay, so we've got folks. Okay, just so you're not confused. Penny is actually the wife of Preston Cranmer, which is actually running under Preston Cranmer's name. I know that's going to be a little bit, confusing as you're going to see on the ticker side and how we're going to say it. Lynn, though, I'm going to take is the mom of Preston.
Yeah, and
will actually be the wife of Mike.
Yeah. That's correct.
Well, now that we've got the family tree and I've confused everybody on the broadcast, let's go racing.
Absolutely. I've been looking forward to this as much as Roger has talked about it, and I just hope these ladies have fun here tonight. I think I hope they have fun, and I hope that, hey, we want to do this again. So that's a really good goal. They can come and be a part of the league and put on a show for us.
All right. Well, right now it looks like we're going to have 5 here. You said 3 is going to transfer to the main feature. The other ones will have to go into the B main. We've got Sean out there says, good luck, Kate, number 16. All right. And that's what I need. Help us out a little bit, because if it doesn't actually have their name out there, let us know the car number that they're in. Obviously, Penny, we know that's Preston when the 07.
Yep, I've got their name actually with iRacing. I can pull up the results here, Joe, and I can see their name, so that I get a little unfair advantage there.
What'd you get, a cheat sheet?
Yep, if you go to the results, pull them up, you can see them.
Johnson Peter.
Yeah, and I'm looking here at Preston's. Penny Lee's got a
they
really.
They are the 305s, yes.
Yep. Penny Lee's got a really sharp-looking car, and I'm thinking Preston, it looks better than his car, so hopefully it's faster than his car.
KSR on that front, that blue. Yeah, it looks really nice. Absolutely does. These are 305s. so it's still the same, still fixed setup, just like they were just running before when we are here. As the green flag flies, we're racing. You got Chapman and Cranmer out front. They're going to duke it out in a side-by-side battle. Here comes Cranmer on the inside. He's going to take the lead for the moment as Chapman is on the outside.
That looks a lot like what Connor was involved in, where they're side-by-side and everybody under. Oh, we got one into the wall.
Oh, that's a halt in the wall alley, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's that tough place on the track I was telling you, coming out of turn 2 over there.
Oh, and Jackie. Well, it said Jackie crashed too. She might have got involved with that a little bit. Not sure, but the front fender or the front wing is actually took off on that car right now. As you've got Cranmer sitting in second. Chapman is right now walking away with this one out front, looking pretty good.
Yeah, Gretchen is leading Penny Lee here and putting a little bit of distance. It'll be interesting a little later on when there's not so much tack in the track, and then they can move around, and it'll probably even things out just a little bit.
And you got Lynn hanging on back here in the 4th place spot.
Absolutely.
Let's see what she can do here. So, nice little drive she's having right there in the 4th place. As the white flag's out one more time, here comes Chapman around. We'll see, man, what she can do. She hangs on to it. Final turn.
He's going to get it. Is heating up here over here in 2, 3, and 4 coming to the flag.
Is Jackie going to be able to get it? Nope, just going to run out of time. Coming out of it, she's going to hang on to 3rd place. Cranmer is going to be in 4th. Penny's going to be in 2nd. Lynn's going to be in 4th. And Blake Chapman there in 1st. Those 2 names right there, I'm going to get confused if they get side by side. So that puts us in heat race number 2. That'll bring us up to our Howard Hanna Real Estate. And I always love saying the #1 family owned and operated independent broker in the U.S. Scott Herwood and Company does an outstanding job. If you're looking to do anything in real estate, commercial or residential wise, they're the place to go. Check them out to get that distinction one. Up on pole, we got Galen Jackson, Mike Schultz, which is actually Mike Schultz's wife, Shaylin. I want to say Shaylin.
Shaylin Whipple.
Shaylin. Okay, Shaylin Whipple hanging on the 3rd. They're starting the 3rd. Jeffrey Barker, it's not Jeffrey Barker, folks, but it's his wife.
Christina,
thank you. And then Allison Gerlach going to be in 5th. And who is the Bill Caldner?
Barbara Calder.
Barbara. Okay. There we go. Appreciate it. So, all right. 6 drivers out here getting set. And, well, it's a little late to sign up to girlfriend now.
It is, but I do expect to see this to happen again next season. So it's not too late to sign up for the league by any means.
Yeah, now now just because they're running a special race for the ladies, don't mean that none of them can come out and can't race in the league. So definitely go check out GForceRL.com. I mean, it's not just an all boys GeForce racing league. So there you go. I mean, hey.
Absolutely.
So you guys can come out, but this is a kind of a special event here tonight for us for the hometown heroes. As right now, Jackson out front, Whipple and Schultz having a good battle there for 2nd. Never mind, here comes Schultz to the outside. I'm going to try to throw a slider on the top side.
Yeah, and that wall came out, and she was real smart there and lifted a little bit to not catch that wall.
You got Whipple right there looking on the inside. She's been taking that low line for the moment. Oh, got one of them up under the wall a little bit. But right now, Whipple's trying to hang on. And then up front, Schultz got in the side of Jackson. Schultz is going to hang on to the lead for a moment.
That was actually a good battle with the top 3 there.
Yes, it was.
Absolutely.
Good one so far. It's getting spread out a little bit here. And Whipple sitting in 2nd. And now you got Schultz up here with another little lap down car. Got a little tangled up there. No harm, no foul, though.
That's going to open the door for the 2nd place.
Yes, it is. And Whipple's going to sneak up in there and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to take the lead.
1 to go. Let's see if Kate Schultz here can make a comeback here between 3.
Caldner stuffed in the wall hard out of the last turn. Looks like Whipple's going to win it. Schultz going to come home in 2nd. Barker's going to hang on the 3rd. That was a good little battle up there in the front. I like that what Whipple did. Used that lap car to their advantage.
Use it as a pick.
Use it as a pick. There you go. Okay, JP. All right. No problems. We're going to get up here to our heat race.
B main.
Should be B main. That's what I was thinking. There should probably only be 2 of them here. So that's going to put us there. SBGC 3D Printing. Tom Taylor and company out there. And I checked out any of his work that he does on that 3D machining that he has. Check him out at sbgc3d.com. And he does some awesome work. So we got Lynn Cranmer out front, Allison Gerlach there, Allie Halt starting in 3rd, Galen Jackson, and waiting for Bill Codner, Codner's wife, to start up here in 5th.
Yeah, and Galen Jackson, we haven't mentioned, is actually a Bob DeGood's wife, and Bob does some of the retreads and races in several of our leagues, and all around nice guy. He's a Missouri guy over from Kansas City, so definitely want to give him a shout out, and very good driver.
Sorry about that, folks. I had the music playing in the background. My bad. Appreciate it, Roger, for telling me.
Roger's always on top of things. No matter where or what he's doing, he's always got an ear out.
That he does. I've got the line of text to prove it.
All right, Cranmer right there, Gerlach. Surprised nobody in the chat didn't tell me. That's what was going on. Halt right there in 3rd, Jackson in 4th. Maybe they was enjoying the music in the background that we was talking to, so makes it more suspenseful, I guess. But nonetheless, here we go. B main. What kind of action we're going to have in this one?
Green.
Well, Mrs. Cranmer jumped right out to the front there. Lynn Cranmer way out front. Looks like Allie Hott there has moved into 2nd.
She's catching Lynn.
Yeah.
Good battle up front here, like you just said. It's Cranmer. Oh, we got a car around us. Halt, unfortunately, spinning it in pit road and kind of infield there. It puts Gerlach hanging on the 2nd. Cranmer right there in the lead, but here comes Gerlach moving in.
Absolutely. Running the high side.
Tags the wall just a little bit. Hurts the momentum ever so slightly, but she might get it straightened back up. Going to try to get another run back on Cranmer.
Allison there in the 71, 2nd place. She is running a really nice line. And if she can hit it every lap, she's going to reel in the leader, I think, before the end of this.
Looks good. Right there, said, yeah, Jackson hanging on there in the 3rd. Halt, unfortunately, lap down. Codner still running out there, getting some good laps in. In the meantime, Cranmer's leading us when Gerlach's there. Gerlach actually has a really good line running out there, so got that thing straightened back up, looking good. Throwing that thing in there, sliding it around.
Yeah, the run that Allison did just right there off of turn 2, and she woed up here a little bit of patience there, and so she's definitely, I think, the faster of the 2 right now.
Yeah, right there you just saw she ran up on the back end of Cranmer and just did, obviously it was the same line that she was running, so like I said, had to woe up just a little. The problem with these 305s is once you woe up like that, you lose so much momentum. It's like the 410s where you can step down on that gas and get it going, but he's got such a good slider line happening right now. He's hitting that top of that cushion well. Got her going to turn.
Final 2 corners. Let's see if she can make a run.
Just going to run out of time at the line. Cranmer's going to hang on to it. Gerlach comes home in 2nd. Jackson right there in 3rd. But obviously in the B main, we said it before, definitely going to learn a lot on what she can do here in the feature as we're getting set here to gear this thing up here. As the ladies here, the GForce Racing, as we're in the warm-up, folks. We're in the Icon Sim Sports intermission. And Icon Sim Sports, proud sponsor here, the Hometown Heroes. Week in and week out, and if you're looking for a rig that's going to be built to you, to suit you, and fit your needs, check them out at iconsimsports.com. They will definitely get you hooked up. In the GeForce Racing League, that's where we're racing at here, and that's what you're seeing all the action here tonight. Check them out at GeForceRL.com for all the information, and check out anything going on with the GeForce Racing League. Definitely want to give a shout out to Justy Sick, iRacing Photo Drivers of the Week. Appreciate him coming on board, and we're live tonight here on the GeForce Esports. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday nights here on YouTube side. Likes and shares, folks. Definitely appreciate it. We're going to step away just for a second. and a word from some sponsors and all. We'll be right back here. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, folks, we're back here, and gonna be a good one here tonight as This is our feature. And out front, Chapman puts it out there. It says Blake Chapman, but which one was that one again?
It's Gretchen Chapman.
Gretchen Chapman, all right. And then we got
Shaylin Whipple on the outside.
Shaylin, I'm still struggling with that one. I apologize. Whipple starting in second there. Mike Schultz, which is not Mike Schultz. It's who?
Kate Schultz and Penny Lee Kramer. Penny Lee,
yep. Third.
And Kate's fourth, yep.
We got Jackie Chomler hanging on the fifth. Jeffrey Barker, that's not Jeffrey Barker. Who's his?
Christina Barker starts sixth. Then we got Lynn Kramer in seventh. Allison Gerlach in eighth. Gayleen Jackson is going to start ninth, and Allie Hott will be in 10th.
There we go.
And Parker Calder will round out the field in a very special paint scheme, I'm told.
Yeah, we're gonna show it off right here. Want to give a good shout out. Roger came up here. I think he said going in for some surgery, so we're going to give our thoughts and prayers out there to him. As always, we're going green flag racing. Aldner's right there in the backside, but Chapman out front leading this one. Everybody's kind of single file right now, kind of being calm, except for back here about 4th or 5th place spot.
Yeah, it looks like they're just kind of feeling out the track here in the first couple of laps and seeing what they got. And judging by the B main there, they were getting a little more aggressive. So I expect them to start racing pretty hard here.
Well, you got Penny hanging on right there in the 5th place right now. She's Chandler right there in front of her, seeing if they can hang on to it. And I got to admit, we were talking about this a little bit while we were watching in the warm-up and the Icon Sim Sports intermission there. Right now, these ladies are doing an outstanding job and have done an outstanding job. And I got to admit, they're probably doing a little bit better job than some of the gentleman racers that we see out here. So maybe the ladies are going to be the new hometown heroes.
Yeah, I caution free so far, and that's impressive because I can tell you, us guys I'm seeing a lot more patience with these drivers than what I see when I'm out there, including the patience from myself.
Yeah, oh, it's down already. Don't worry about it. Chapman, we're good out front, but yeah, so that right there get you guys fired up for next week and later on here tonight, as the ladies out here right now putting on a outstanding show, as you got a good battle happening here with Schultz, Whipple, Chandler. I keep messing her name up, and I apologize about that, but looks like, first caution of the night, as that's going to put Allie in the back. Let's go back here to our Malcolm Mills replay, see what happened to Allie. It also collected Penny. Just a little contact between the two, and then I think that was Penny that actually went flying off. Go back and watch it one more time.
Penny almost ended up in the victory lane pretty much early on the night, but it looks like she just got loose on the top, which is easy enough to do, and had to chase it down the track to straighten it out, and just collected Allie there. And that's just your typical dirt racing incident. The back ends will step out of almost any car we drive.
She got up on the wall. The wall pretty much just threw her down, and the other, man, that's a heck of a crash. Her and the pole met. Wow. Well, that puts us under caution for the first time, but an outstanding start to this one here as Chapman's out front.
Connor, what did you see from the different lines going on? Did you see one that was moving more than the other there the first couple laps?
I think the high side was faster there. I think it was, but it's gonna get a lot faster once you get more comfortable into running the line and running around people. I know that they had two not pre-races, but races to get ready and kind of just get the hang of it. And I think at the end of the race, with the few laps left, it's gonna get a lot more hectic and a lot more battles once they just start getting to get the feel for the cars.
Absolutely. Green flag's back at it again. Chapman gets a good jump on the field. Chomler right there behind him. Whipple hanging on to the 3rd place spot, and yellow's out. Back on the replay here, Malcolm Mills. Looks like that's going to be Jackson and Halt getting involved in this one, and Jackson a little bit loose right there. Oh, I don't know who that was that got into it, but I think that was...
That's Allie Chapman.
Yeah, it was...
Allie Haught, sorry. Not Chapman yet.
Let's go back and watch it one more time here on the Malcolm Mills replay. Allie was right there in the pink machine. On the restart here. It already lost the front wing on it. Car back there not get going. That's not Allie who... Yeah, Allie just kind of drove it in and then just... I don't know, just a little contact between her and another machine, and unfortunately, disaster on the track.
Yeah, that's one thing about with the track. I can already see a nice slick patch going into turn 1 from where I'm sitting. So they're going to have to adjust, what they did earlier when that's where those practice sessions the last couple weeks should be playing dividends right now.
Absolutely. So these are your ladies, the girls of the GeForce Racing League, the wives and significant others and just family members all in all here. The GeForce Racing League are the guys that normally race. So that's why you see some of the guy names out there like Preston Cranmer, Bill Caldner, and Mike Schultz. Those are not guys racing in the girl division, okay, or with the ladies, okay. So there you go. I mean, they are their wives. It's just they're racing under their account. So green flags back at it again. Chapman's out front, and boy, we got a lot of lap cars in with lead lap cars, and Schultz right there got a little side by side.
Yeah, we had a lead there for a minute, and then unfortunately Chapman got a little bit loose there. Gretchen, a little loose coming off of 2, but now let's see if Gretchen can reel back in Jackie.
Yeah, Whipple right now is the one that's closest to Chapman. Chapman's hanging on to second. You got Schultz right there in the 4th place spot. Gretchen, unfortunately, crashing in the back. We got cars around. That's Barker and Lynn Cranmer. Let's go. We got another car. It's upside down. Went off the side there. They didn't throw the yellow flags because it got off the track, but they just came together trying to take the same real estate on the track. Usually doesn't work out too well. You see that a lot happening on the NASCAR side too. 2 guys just trying to take the same spot on the track, and in racing doesn't work out.
This will be interesting. This is a big break for Gretchen Chapman, who, like I said, was running for the lead and really kicked it sideways coming out of turn 2, and this is going to put her right back on the tail of Jackie Chalmers there in the purple 321.
It is. Chalmers out front. Chapman right there in second. Barker hanging on to third. Let's see what we got. Let's restart here. It's been a good one so far.
Absolutely. I think we're going to have an exciting finish here because any one of the top 3, I've seen them. They all look fairly strong, and I think any one of them can get to a victory here.
And it could be a product of attrition too. It come down to it. So we'll see. As Chalmers right now is the one out front. Pace trucks leading them around. We're going single file on the restart. Jackson's there with it, kind of getting geared up. Interesting guys out there. Let us know in the chat. I mean, how are the ladies and all them out there enjoying this race? They have fun. That's the main thing.
Oh, Gretchen Chapman was on it, but good sport. She laid up there and let Jackie have it back. It looked like she was going to have her pass before the start-finish line, which is a no-no.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't do that.
That was good sportsmanship. I have to tip my hand off for that.
Yeah, and we seen it earlier right there. Good slider going in there from Whipple. Just the problem with doing that a little bit here on these 305s, that much of a slider is you lose so much momentum with these cars. They kind of dig in coming off the turn, but right now it's all Chalmers out front. You got Chapman hanging on to second. Whipple right there in third, but Schultz is beating down the back tail tank. It's a good battle happening for third.
Yeah, Kate Schultz has definitely moved back up, and looking at Shay Lynn, there's just good battles everywhere. Jackie's kind of run away from everybody now, so the real battle now is for third and fourth.
And you got Schultz right there, who sitting in fourth. Whipple hanging on the third. Chapman up there to second. You got Chalmers there in first. Barker in fifth. Oh, there's a little contact between them two, though.
Jackie just took the white flag. Jackie just took the white flag at start
It
finish.
won't matter
There's
what
a crash
happens.
down the backstretch.
It don't matter what
Jackie
happens
can't-
now.
Jackie now
Chalmers going to be the one. Yep, Chalmers coming out of the last turn, final time. It's going to put it in victory lane. Chapman hanging on to second. Whipple's going to come home in third here tonight. What a finish to this one. Wow, that was some good racing right there. If we can't get a few of these up here and get a word with them, if they will. Hopefully they're not shy to talk. For Whipple here. See. Y'all seeing any ones down at the bottom there? So, Chris Whipple, would that be?
That'd be Shaylin. Should be anyway.
All right. We'll bring them up in the waiting room. And then Chapman, be normal Chapman. We can find him.
Yeah, you look up, it's not Zach, but it's Blake Chapman.
Whipple is up in the waiting room now.
Yeah, I got Whipple. Looking for, I see Zach.
Yeah, but not the same Chapman, though. Zach is Allie Hott, is his significant other. You're looking for Blake Chapman. That's who.
There's Jackie. So I'll tell you, all right, I think we got him. Blake. So let's bring up Whipple. Let's get a word with him.
Hello, we got third place finisher here, Shaylin Whipple. How are you tonight?
Good.
Well, how much fun did you have?
It was fun. This is a first, so it was interesting.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I was impressed with your line that you were running. You were running your line very, very well in the heat race and everything else. How much practice did you put into to get ready for this? Because these cars aren't easy to drive, and you handled it very well.
Just the practices that we had, and my husband was in the background in my ear, so.
Well, let me ask you, I mean, now that you've experienced this, you gonna ask for a wheel and everything and come run with us on a regular basis?
I don't know.
Well, you did an excellent job tonight, an excellent finish, and I'm glad that you had fun and an experience, and now you can kind of see what Chris and Wyatt do. So it's kind of cool that you can kind of see that, and you guys can share that. Is there anybody you'd like to thank for your run here tonight?
Oh, just my wonderful husband and the Schultzes.
Very good. Well, that is Shaylin Whipple with a podium finish here tonight.
Absolutely, doing an outstanding job, coming home in third. As we'll bring up the second place person, Chapman here. Let's get a word with him.
Gretchen Chapman up here finishing second. You got a copy?
I can hear you.
Well, how is that?
Well, I've raced 3 times, I think, and got second every time. So I guess I'm kind of getting used to that spot.
Well, I think we have to ask Roger for a 4th race, and maybe you can get that first place finish.
It's too stressful for me. I think this is enough.
Well, how much fun did you have out there?
Yeah, it was fun, but I get a little too nervous also.
I can see that because I get nervous even when I'm out there racing. So I can see how nerves get to some people in iRacing. Joe, is there anything else you would like to ask, or John?
Well, it was a great race, outstanding race out there. And like I said, you need to come back because you're doing a pretty good job, and maybe can take Blake and them spot on the track.
It gives me a lot of respect for what he does every week. It looks easy sitting on the couch, but it's a lot harder behind the wheel.
There you go. Well, you came home second. You got a good streak going on. Next spot's put it in the winner's circle there again. Congratulations on that second place.
Thank you very much.
There we go. Second place in Chapman. And not quite sure what happened to Jackie. She was up here in the waiting room. Don't see her in the Discord anymore, but maybe
Jackie,
what's that?
Jackie's going to be on the podcast, so I think she might have been a little bit shy, but we will cover off
okay. Yeah.
You know, what she did when we get her on the podcast.
Right. We'll do that then.
Yeah.
All right, well, then that way we'll step away, folks. Don't go anywhere. We still got some 410 wing sprints to come. We'll be right back here after this. Don't go anywhere.
It all starts with the right house. That's where we come in. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
People want to have a one-stop shop. They need us for now all these different services, not just the heating and air side.
When things are going wrong, you want the company that's going to be able to get things done as fast as possible for you.
Today, we're going to be in over 600 homes. What the customers can count on is we're going to send a competent person to your home with a vehicle that's stocked and prepared. We're going to do what's right.
Right now, we're waiving our $79 service fee with any Cool-Ray, Brightbox, or Mr. Plumber service.
From finding the perfect house to making it your home, we'll be with you every step of the way. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Introducing GeForce TV. GeForceTV.net is your new source for action overload. Featuring free live programming year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, GeForce TV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action. See live Friday Night Excitement weekly from Washouican Speedway and watch the stars of tomorrow make a name for themselves during Thursday night's live microsprint racing. GeForce TV is also the new home for Rivals Race Chat. Watch weekly as Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross discuss all the hot topics in the world of motorsports. For iRacing fans, GeForce TV has you covered with hours of live broadcasting from Rivals and GeForce TV racing leagues. GeForce TV promises to deliver motorsports, esports, and action sports you want to see, along with talk shows and blogs to keep you connected to the lifestyle you love. Visit GeForceTV.net today to subscribe for free. Sit back, hold on, and feel the G's on GeForce TV.
All right, folks, we're live here, back at it again, and we got qualifying underway. We got some bad boys of the 410 wing sprints here with the VMR Wraps qualifying session here tonight. Looked pretty, looked good earlier on. We had a good race happening. And VMR Wraps, though, if you want to look good on the track, check them guys out on Facebook. Give them a like and a share. They will definitely get you hooked up. And they have several painters that can actually do multiple cars and so forth. And obviously, I want to give a shout out to iRacing League Manager. You run a league, own a league, do anything with a league, check them out at iRacingLeagueManager.com. That's our standings. Matter Gambler Motorsports earlier on. Check them out on Facebook. But right now, Preston, what a night it's been. These are the 410 guys here. Here's where I don't know, it can get really slick real quick on these cars.
Yeah, it's been an entertaining night for sure, and it's only getting better. The car count's a little bit down tonight, I think, just because we didn't have guys that could run consecutive races. But yeah, these cars, they just have so much torque and spin the wheels so easy that it just burns the track up a whole lot faster than the 305s or even the 360s, which we saw run last week or possibly the week before. So yeah, by the end of this night, depending on it, the weather matters too, but the track is going to be really slicked off. The whole track will be worn out from top to bottom, and guys will really be having to pedal it to get around the track.
Absolutely. It'll be a lot different than what you're used to seeing with those 305s. Those guys kind of bogged down just a little bit with the 305s and whatnot. So here we go. 410 wing sprints right now. Sitting on the top, Garrett Pepiot. He puts it up there with a 345. Man, that's a good time.
Yeah,
340. My bad. That would be a good time. A 345.
It would be incredible.
Incredible. 1145. I apologize, folks. I know Preston's probably over there going like, what is he running? Top fuel wing sprint.
Yeah, you threw me for a loop there, but yeah, Garrett's perpetually quick, and he's at the top now. Kyle Moonan's just breathing down his neck there. These guys will be really close on time to start here again because the track's not really worn out yet. So they're working on a tacky track. You see they're spread out. There's about 5/10 between the first and the last place guys, basically. So a little bit more than we see in our 360s, but being a fixed setup, it's just a little bit different.
Yeah, I asked earlier, and it's a question we really just didn't get into week in and week out as being on into this league. Being the same track, we've run the 410s quite a few times, and I know you've run them, and you've run the sprints. I know you, and whatnot, being out here. But we talk about how the track changes. How much does this track change week to week from as a driver standpoint? How familiar do you get and go, okay, it's going to be pretty much the same thing because we are on the same track, same setup, same car. In real life, yeah, I mean, everything's going to change because it's real life. But here, it's a little bit different. I know they have the dynamic stuff, but how much of that do you tell as a driver?
Oh yeah, it's way different, and truthfully, this is the first series, and I don't know of another series that's ever done this where they run the same track every week, and that's why it's our hometown heroes. We wanted to emulate what's at your track every Friday night or Saturday night. So it is completely different. Now, at the beginning of the night when the track's not worn at all, it's basically pretty much the same. You'll vary a couple of tenths here or there, but you run the track the same way. But by the end of the night, week to week, it's completely different. The weather makes a difference. The car count makes a difference because if you've got 3 heats compared to 5 heats, that's 16 extra laps plus all the extra warm-up laps that the guys practicing are putting in. So it really can vary quite a bit. So I ran that first week and actually was surprised at how much grip was left out there when we started the feature. Week 2 rolls around and we start the race with, the track's completely worn out, which suits me a little bit better. But that's why you see now Lane Snook finds his way to the front every week. There's no doubt about that. But you see different guys, depending on how the track is changing, kind of work their way towards the front. So even though it's the same every week, it's very different. And so you see different guys excel.
Yeah, and that's kind of interesting, like you just said. That's a testament to what iRacing's done with their dynamic tracks and so forth and so on. So it's not like, folks, you go into your local country club and being a golf player and you're on the same course every day or week, and after a while you're going to get good at it. It does change, so that's kind of interesting. As we hit our heat race number 1, A&J Custom Creations. Andy Patton out there, can't say enough about him. The guy does some outstanding work. Andy Patton there with his wood trophies, plaques, and everything that he does. Check him out on GForceRL.com and on Facebook at A&J Custom Creations. As out front, we got Terry Landis, John Hines starting second, Donovan Ross there in third, Garrett Pepiot up in fourth, Kyle Parker fifth, Tom Taylor in sixth, Andrew Smith there, Lane Snook's going to be in the eighth, and Preston's just going to, I don't know what Preston's doing.
Yeah, they forgot to disqualify me, so I won't be taking the track here as much as I may want to.
There you go. So Preston's getting disqualified. But we're going to get set here. Interesting. Now, do you like the 410 or do you like 305 or 360?
You know, the 360s are my bread and butter. You know, the Crate Sim Racing team, that's the focus, right? So we put a lot of time and effort into setups and getting used to running the cars. I really like the 410s. You know, it's just like the big team, you know, Lance and Don and the guys up in Pennsylvania. So it's nice to get out there and run them, but they are much more difficult. And truth be told, the fixed setups don't suit us as well because we're used to running some guys like the car a whole lot looser, some guys like it a lot tighter, and you don't have the room to play with it. It evens the field, but you know, there's those little things you'll find that just they don't suit you as well as if you could get in there and tweak on it yourself.
Absolutely, and like you said, with Terry Landis sitting up front there with John Hine, let's see which one of these are able to pull it in, and looks like Lane Snook is having connection problems again. He said earlier he was. I know he said Mom told him to call, and I don't know if you heard earlier. We were talking about the broadcaster's jinx. I've had that happen before. When I get out there and talk about it, I've done it to Roger a lot of times. But I said Lane's going to win the heat, and he hits the wall. So, but here it looks like he did not get gridded up.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he made the grid here. You're talking about the front two guys here. I think the place to be early here, because again we're at heat one and the track's not worn out. Terry's probably got the preferred line. He would rather be at the bottom. Knowing John Hine, he would rather run the top. You know, so it's going to be interesting because I think they're probably going to both maintain their lane here to start. Hine will probably drop to the bottom soon, and then Pepiot and Donovan Ross right behind him are going to follow whoever's faster. So this is. The first couple of rows here are pretty interesting, and the start should be pretty wild.
Absolutely. Landis there, like you said, on the high side, Hine on the high side, Landis on the low side. Lights off on the pace truck, getting set to go racing here. A&J Custom Creations Heat Race number 1. These are the 410 wing sprints. About the biggest and baddest you can get in the wing sprints out there. As far as when it comes to dirt track racing. Pace trucks in, green flag flies. We're racing here for the Icon Sim Sports Hometown Heroes, and out front Landis does get a good jump on the lead.
Yeah, but like we were saying, Hines stayed at the top, and again with the 410s you can keep the momentum up even when the track's tacky at the bottom, so they're going to move around a lot. You know, there's plenty of grip to be had, and it's just about running where they ain't.
Oh, and they get contact, and your top 3 guys already. Hine got involved with that when he's upside down. Pepiot was involved too. What a contact there. And Kyle Parker, who, I think he struggled a lot with the wing sprints. It's not his, like I say, cup of tea. He loves those late models. Has found himself in second place while Landis is out front leading this one.
And Kyle's getting faster and faster every week, so he might have something for Terry if he can run him down here.
Absolutely. Now we got to go back here. Tom Taylor in that 4th place final transfer spot with Pepiot, who just got caught up in that at a little bit of a contact. Unfortunately, Hine up there, and that's just kind of what happens with these wing sprints, as you already see them. That low line kind of going in low, letting that thing kind of slide up the track a little bit coming out of the turn.
Yeah, it's just about keeping as much speed up as you can and not spinning the tires too much.
And doing what Pepiot just did right there. Make sure you don't tap the wall and losing all kind of momentum coming out of the turn. But now he gathers it back up, and he's able to get right back around Connor Ross, get that 5th place back. Didn't lose too much. Him and Tom Taylor, though, beating each other up with Ross right there in tow. You still got Tom hanging on to the 4th place spot. Ross wants it, though. Tom's got it for the moment. That's a good battle here as the checker flag waves. They are still tagging each other. Taylor's going to hang on to 4th, but Terry Landis is going to be the man that's going to win heat race number 1.
Yeah, easy cruising for Terry. Kyle benefited there from that early incident, and I think a lot of the guys outside of those two are not going to be real happy with one another because there was definitely a lot of undesired contact there.
There was, and I think it's just kind of getting back in the groove with how much power these machines have. But it puts us in heat race 2. Howard Hanna Real Estate #1 family-owned and operated independent broker of the U.S. there, Scott Herwood and Company. Does an outstanding job. If you got anything commercial or residential-wise that needs to be done in real estate, you want to buy, sell, rent, check out Howard Hanna Real Estate here tonight at Heat Race number 2. Jeffrey Barker out front, Stephen Speed sitting in second, Connor Ross there in third, Kyle Moonen up in the fourth, Chris Steele going to start in fifth, Zach Chapman there in sixth, Brandon Siles, Sarge sitting in seventh, Brian Moore Jr. in eighth, and Roger's just doing a little bit of the admin in here, so he won't grid it up as we're waiting for these guys to get it. Actually waiting for Brandon to grid up here.
Yeah, and that's a new name to me. We run so many divisions, I can't keep up with them all, but I don't recognize Brandon's name. So
he was either here last Friday or last week.
Gotcha.
And I want to say it was last Friday. It might have been. It was one of the nights because I remember the name. Unfortunately, it's not gridding up here, but I do remember it. But he is new. He is new though. So because it was like the first time I seen it last week.
Yeah, so we'll see what Brandon's got. Just a reminder to anybody that may be new or just doesn't remember, our top 4 for these heat races are inverted. So technically your second quick time in qualifying is starting 4th here in Kyle Moonen. So adds a little intrigue because you got some guys that might be a little bit faster starting on the second row there.
And you do, and we talk about Brandon. Unfortunately, like I say, it just didn't get gridded up here. So he's going to have to run through the constellation if he wants to make the feature here tonight. Along with Lane, as lights off on a pace truck. Here we go. Spees out front with Barker, Moonen, Ross, and company. Green flag's about to fly.
Yeah, and there's still plenty of grip out there, so there'll be plenty of lines to be had.
Yeah, it is. Green flag. We're back racing. Spees, Barker, and company. Moonen right there. The 3 wide for the lead.
Yeah, Moonen's not waiting around here. He's going to get out there for that lead and try to, I guess, avoid the contact more than likely.
Yeah, it is. You got Connor Ross hanging on the 4th right there. Chris Steele, he's in the back looking on. He's got his hands full there with Zach Chapman, who is deadly fast. He's throwing a slider on the inside. In the meantime, still the top 4, kind of single file, except for that 3rd and 4th place is Ross and Barker. They're not happy with their position.
Yeah, they're really trading sliders here. And again, something else to consider, the 305s, a lot of these guys ran 305s earlier. The reason you're seeing them slide so far out of the corners is because they just ran 305s and they don't carry the same inertia. So these guys are carrying a whole lot more speed all the way through the corners.
Yeah, and they don't bog down coming out of the turn like the 305. We talk about that week in and week out of how you can just lose so much momentum that car, the 305, will just kind of dig into the dirt and lose all kinds of momentum. This one don't. You can kind of sling this thing in there. Chapman hanging on still to the 6th place spot, still right there in 5th. Meanwhile, though, up front, Moonen says, I want the lead. He dives down the inside. Beautiful slide job. Is it going to be a crisscross move by Speezy? Look, wasn't able to get it done, though.
No, I think Spees will settle in and try to grab some cushion here, build up a little momentum, and probably try the slider as we get towards the last lap here.
Yeah, it is. Spees right there. He's hanging on the back tail tank there. Moonen as they're going to go single file. White flag one more time. Has he got enough for the final 2 turns? He's going to see if he can. Not quite close enough. Battles for second, though. Out of it here. Yep, Speed's going to hang on to it. Ross there in 3rd. Barker's going to come up in the 4th. And Moonen's going to win it here in the heat race, too. That was a good battle.
Yeah, guys might have played a little bit more careful after watching that first heat race and watching a couple of transfer spots get traded just off contact.
Absolutely. It brings us up to heat race number 3, Coast to Coast Sim Racing Team. And Coast to Coast Sim Racing, you got USA and Canada-based teams here, and they've been with the GeForce Racing League since the inception here of time. As we got Stephen Goldner, that's the high side man right there. He loves running that top side cushion, starting out front. Brian Moore Sr. is going to be alongside him, and Jamie McCarron are in 3rd. Blake Chapman up into the 4th place spot. Barry Goldner going to start 5th. Ryan Carlissi, hope I said that right, in 6th. Maximum Langevin up in 7th, and Bob DeGood going to round out the top 8 here as we're getting set to go green flag.
Yeah, and surprisingly, and I'm surprised to see Stephen Goldner starting on the pole. Now, not accusing anybody of anything, but knowing that the top 4 are inverted, you do get guys that'll lay off just a touch in qualifying to try to make sure they get a better qualifying spot in the heat. So don't know if that was Goldner's strategy or not, but it can really pay off, especially when the track's starting to wear out a little bit. And at the moment, we're kind of getting down to where there's one lane. You can throw a slider in there, but you really want to be riding your right rear right around the cushion.
And we know Goldner is where Steven goes. I mean, he was pumped up earlier to get in the 410s. He said it out there in the chat. he was looking forward to it, but he loves that high lane, and you're going to see him get a running up there and that top side, so he'll get that cushion rumbling as the pace truck's in. Green flag flies. As soon as he gets out front, you'll see him migrate to the top. There he goes. He got out front. McCarron hangs on the second. You've got Moore Sr., an old car in a wall hard. Moore Sr., he is around slamming it there. Unfortunate for him. Knight's done. He'll have to run into consolation here, but that puts Chapman, Blake Chapman that is, up in the third.
Yeah, and Ryan Carlisi riding around right now in the fourth and final transfer spot. Got a good gap here on fifth place, so just got to maintain for the moment.
Yeah, Carlisi, right, like you said, sitting in the fourth place. Bobby Good, though, back here with Langevin and company. He's got Barry Goldner back there now. Are they related, Steve and Barry?
Yes, absolutely. Barry is Steven's father.
Okay, good deal. Well, hey, Dad's son out here. So Dad's right there, and the Barry Goldner's hanging on in the seventh. Back in the back there, Stephen Goldner out front. See the high side band there, holding on to that top side cushion. McCarron up there riding the top side too, but he's got Blake Chapman breathing down his back end just a little bit. He makes one little slip, and old Chapman will be right there around him.
Yeah, and what you'll see is they'll both ride the cushion all the way through. If Chapman can get right on the tail of his car coming into the corner, he'll try to throw that slide job. Otherwise, there's just not enough speed there to get around.
Absolutely not. He's trying to track him down right there. One goes high, one goes low. You see a little bit of McCarron. He's hanging on to that second place spot ever so slightly. White flag one more time here for Stephen Goldner. He's got a whole night time worth of a lead out there. The battle's on for second here because Carlisi, he's hanging on to fourth pretty good. Out of four, Goldner's going to hang on to it. Carlisi's going to come home in fourth. I'm saying his name right. Chapman there in third, and McCarron coming home in second.
Yeah, and as we roll into the consolation race here, looks like we may not even have a consolation.
Wow.
I think everybody is going to have made the feature. Typically, that only happens.
They usually only have. They already have a. Somebody didn't set it up.
Yeah, well, actually, the only time this will ever happen is if you have exactly 24 cars.
Oh, really?
So,
okay.
yeah, it's just the way the iRacing calculates it out. So if we'd had 25, you'd have had a few more in a consolation race. But because there's 24 and 24 make the feature, everybody's just going to get dropped in and based on their heat qualifying.
If I bring this up to you, well, wait a minute. Okay, you are right because I was about to say it shows 26, but you and Roger are out there. So you're right. It brought it up exactly 24 cars.
Yep. So everybody's going to get a expedient broadcast right into the feature tonight, which is interesting, right? Because now we haven't had a B main to wear out the track more, and it's exactly like what we were talking about. The car count is going to have had a huge effect on the way this track starts. Now they've got looks like 4 minutes to warm up here.
Yeah, 4 minutes. So, well, we got our Icon Sim Sport intermission here, folks. That's what you're looking at right now on Icon Sim Sports. Check them out at iconsimsports.com. Proud sponsor here of the Hometown Heroes, week in and week out. If you're looking for a rig that's going to pretty much just fit you, whether you're big, tall, small, little, big, and no matter what, they can fit that thing to make you feel comfortable and almost like you're in a real race car. It's kind of the thing that sets them apart from many of the other sim rig companies out there. So check them out at iconsimsports.com. We're here tonight with GeForce Racing League. I'll get it out here in a second. Check them out at GeForceRL.com for all the information that you need. All the great info there that GeForce Racing League has to offer. Justin Sick, iRacing Photo Driver of the Week. We'll appreciate him coming on board. And we're live tonight here on the GeForce Esports on YouTube, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday nights here. Definitely check them out. And since while these guys are doing a little bit of warm-up out here, Preston, we'll get a word from our sponsors right fast. And folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. right, folks, we're getting ready here. Feature time, and a little different. I like saying, like what Preston said there. Normally, we don't get exactly right on the mark 24 cars, and I didn't know that how iRacing did that. Would skip over the consolation race. So we definitely want to still give a shout out to SBGC3Dprinting.com, Tom Taylor Company. He sponsors the B mains normally for us every night. So I want to give a definitely shout out. But we're in our Icon Sim Sports feature here tonight. We got Terry Landis out front, Kyle Moonen sitting beside him, Stephen Goldner. We just saw him, Highline guy there sitting in third. Kyle Parker's going to start in fourth. Steven Spees up there in the fifth place. Jamie McCarron 6th. Andrew Smith starting 7th. Connor Ross in the 8th. Tom Taylor there in 9th. Blake Chapman in the 10th. Jeffrey Barker in the 11th. Ryan Curlissi there in the 12th. Garrett Pepe at 13th. Chris Steele 14th. Bob DeGood 15th. Donovan Ross 16th. Zach Chapman 17th. Maximum Langham at 18th. John Hine 19th. Brian Moore Jr. 20th. Lane Snook 21st. Barry Goldner 22nd. Brian Moore Sr. in 23rd. And just to name a few of those names in the back there, Preston, just to look, you've got John Hine, Lane Snook, not to take away to anybody else on this track, but way marred back in traffic.
Yeah, was Lane, I'm trying to find him on the track here. Was Lane able to make the grid here?
He was. He's back there in the back. He's way back in about 21st position.
Yeah, he'll be one to watch come through the field, but there's
John back there. Wow, and Moore Jr. I mean, we've got some heavy hitters in the back as the green flag flies, but anything can go as we already see. Look at this, and the pile up in the back.
Yeah, Terry hit the tires there, just like we saw him do last week. He's going to be disappointed with that for sure. He started on the pole and bended in turn 1.
Yeah, let's go back here on the Malcolm Mills replay and let us see it happen actually happened up front here. Yeah, got down there. I call it the donuts, but yep. And then from there, ooh, and just like I said, a lot of good cars, nowhere to go. Back in the back. You got Bob DeGood, Terry Landis there. Lane was involved in that one. We were just talking about some heavy hitter names back there in that back, and that's just kind of what can happen. You're marred back there in traffic. You can get caught up in an accident real quick.
Yeah, and Terry's gone ahead and retired for the evening. Some of these other guys might be able to get their fast repair and get it back out on the track since caution laps don't count here. But they will be using up their one fast repair that they get if they elect to do so at this point.
Moore Jr. right now, he's lost his front wing. He opted, now he's going into the pits here, so there you go. He'll probably get that back on there. As Donovan Ross still in the back. Lane was able to get up to the 18th. John Hine was able to move up to the 16th. Zach Chapman there in the 14th spot. You got Chris Steele back there in the back, so you definitely got a lot of heavy hitter names back there. Moore Sr. and Jr. And, Blake Chapman sitting there in 8th.
Yeah, we're back green flag racing here. Moonen's taken out here to the lead, and the caution flag flies again. Yeah, it looks like... yeah, absolutely. Looks like Jamie McCarron and Donovan Ross might have been tangled up in that one.
There we go.
Lot of wrecking here early, Joe.
Yeah, product of a lot of cars on the track. 410 wing sprints gonna have a little to do with it. Probably the track conditions. Maybe some nerves on some guys. They'll get calmed down a little bit. We seen this a couple weeks ago. I do a lot of NASCAR style races, and certain tracks, they cautions. They just breed cautions, but sometimes what you see is you see some cautions early on in the race, and then the guys kind of get settled down and smooth sailing throughout.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of what we're dealing with here. Just there's so much more grip than we usually start these races with because of the lack of consolations. Guys are a little bit freer out there. They can run their lines a little bit easier, and so they might be just pushing a little bit extra hard.
And it happens in anything. As a green flag flies, we're back racing there. And when you got grip, you feel like Superman out there. You can put that card or anything anywhere you want to go. Out front, Kyle Moonen is leading this one. You've got Goldner still sitting there in second place. He's trying to see if he can't run him down. Kyle Parker's hanging on the third. So that's your top three. You got to go back behind them where you got Spees and McCarron. They're going side by side, put some slide jobs on each other.
Yeah, and out front, everybody's just kind of getting settled in at the top. I think you'll see them stick there for a little bit, but as the track starts to wear a little bit more, and it's already getting there, guys will start searching around for some grip.
Yeah, a lot of them still hanging up top right now, though, with Chapman, Pepiot hanging around 8th place, because that's where a lot of the action's happening around the midfield. You got Chris Steele and company there, too, in about 12th place spot. Lane has moved all the way up to 11th. Unfortunately, John Hine, though, has fallen all the way off the pace back in the 20th spot, so he's got some work cut out for him to get back up front. But we got a car around Spees, unfortunately. So let's go back on our Malcolm Mills replay here. This is exactly what happened to Steven Spees. He's right there. Oh, he got a little bit up into the turn, and I don't know who that was there, but they came together. Just two guys taking up same real estate.
And don't look now, but Lane Snook is already up into 12th place. We're 7 laps into a 30-lap feature, so he will be in the running, or at least pushing it by the time we get to the closing laps here.
And sometimes the cautions really pay dividends to drivers, especially if you are in the back like this. You know, you pick a few guys off, you get a caution. You pick a few more guys off, you get a caution. Before you know it, you're up front, and that's kind of what's happened to Lane. You know, he started way back in 21st position, 21st, 22nd position, and he's just picked them off, 2 or 3 guys at a time. That cautions come out, and he's found himself up here in 11th. If he keeps doing that, like you said, he's going to find himself up here in the top.
Yeah, and really, it's something that Lane really excels at, and the guys that we see move up through the field week after week. It's all about patience. You got to be fast, but you got to be patient. You got to pick your spots carefully. You got to make the right moves, and Lane and a couple. I mean, you look. There's a couple of guys that have jumped up quite a bit. They're all being patient.
They're all being patient, like you said. Moonen right there, along with it. Goldner and company. He's sitting in second. Kyle Parker, though, hanging on in the second place. He's down low. He's battling there with Stephen Goldner, who's going to take the high side. But Parker's hanging down in that low line and yellows out Andrew Smith around. Back on the Malcolm Mills replay, see what happened to Andrew. He's kind of in the middle here. Not sure who that is down there, but they're 3 wide, and he just got tangled up. Next thing you know, it's somebody went for a fly session.
And it sounds like they're going to be going single file restarts here to start, or for the rest of the race, just trying to make sure we get some green flag laps in. And
I'm with you, like you said. Probably, tacky track, got, some grip out there to these guys. A little bit different, that, feel from what they're used to. Didn't get that, the consolation of the warm-up, or a longer warm-up than what they're normal used to. So it might take a little time here. They'll get it straight.
Yeah, I think you'll see in the next, if they can get a couple of green flag laps in, 2-3 here, I think you'll really start to see them settle in.
So right now we got a good run up front, though it's been all that man, Kyle Moonen, Stephen Goldner, and Kyle Parker and company.
Yeah, just running down the order here again. I hate to turn this into the Lane Snook show, but his quick lap is a 12.9. Nobody else has dropped below 13, so he's the guy on the move at the moment. Connor Ross is flying too.
Back green, here we go. They're already 3 and 4 wide down there. I call them on the donuts, but man, that's a dangerous move to do. That's Pepiot McCarron down there on the bottom. As meanwhile, Moonen up top, and I think that's going to actually have to get Goldner out of his comfort zone a little bit. Goldner usually loves hanging up top on that high side. The problem is now he's going to have to get Moonen out of that top side. Meanwhile, behind him, Connor Ross and old Kyle Parker, they're duking it out for that 3rd and 4th place spot.
Yeah, what you're seeing is the top side is really quick. If you run the cushion through the middle of the corner, but coming out of the corner, you lose a ton of time trying to run the bottom. So you can throw it in there and get beside the guy, but by the time you get to the end, the guy on the top pulls away.
Well, we got John Hine, Brian Moore around in the back. Caution's out, unfortunately. Let's go back on to Malcolm Mills. John not having the night he wants. Up there close to that wall. Got a feeling maybe the wall just snapped. No, car in front of him. Brian Moore slid, and then John just nowhere to go. Luckily, was able to stay on his wheels.
And I just got a note from Terry. I think he wants me to defend him a little bit. Sounds like his pedals broke loose going into turn one, and he wrecked the car. So I assume that's true. But Terry not happy with how his night ended on lap one.
Yeah, and it happens. I mean, you know, we can chalk that up as almost like in real world. Tire breaks, motor blows up, or something mechanical problem on the car. It kind of just sometimes things break.
Yeah, that's right. That's absolutely right.
Here we go. Out front. And all that man though, Kyle Moonen.
Yeah, Kyle's holding it down out there. Not doing anything special. It's just running a clean, consistent line, not making himself hard to pass. And Goldner's gonna keep trying, but we'll see what happens.
All right, here we go. Single file restart. Can Goldner get around him though? But Moonen's been holding that top lane down.
Green flag, green flag.
Yeah, and Goldner shoots towards the bottom again, but again, Moonen just pulling him on the exit there. It's top line looks like it's still the place to be for the moment.
There we go. Out front. Moonen's still there. Goldner up top. Battle's on here, though, for third and second as old Maximum Langevin around. Going our Malcolm Mills replay. Malcolm Mills getting the sponsor out there tonight, unfortunately, here. Just a little tag in the back there. Langevin. Oh, and then he just got slammed. Sitting right there in the track. Thought he was clear. Next thing you know, another car comes along and done.
Yeah, you know, I think you're right. You've alluded to it a couple of times. That battle for third and fourth is really heating up for about a lap, and then we get another caution. It's going to be interesting to see if Connor can get around Kyle, because they're running really similar lap times, running different lines. So it's probably going to come down to who makes the first mistake.
And I gotta say, probably the most frustrating, not so much as, you know, Kyle and Connor back there, you know, they look pretty even or able to make it. It's got to be Steven Goldner back there, because Moonen's taking his line that he wants. So he's got to find another way of getting around Moonen. He's not having the time to find another way. He every time he starts to try to search around, caution comes out and kind of slows his momentum, and now he's got to start the whole process back over. Obviously, Moonen's not complaining, because these single file starts definitely benefit him.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember from the heat, but Steven Goldner he just right before we got that yellow, tried to do exactly what he did in his heat, and he tried to pull up really close onto the back of Moonen so he could throw the slider, and I guarantee you see him do that again.
He tried it right there, but boy, Kyle just got such a good jump on the start. There he goes to the inside. Steven Goldner's going to try it, and I think this is his only hope, is to try to get a slide job on the inside. He's got the groove. He's got it. The problem is he going to be able to hold it? Is Kyle going to be able to crisscross him back over? Because once Steve gets that high line going, Kyle was able to get it done. Man, what a crisscross. This is a good slide job happening up front.
Yeah, and you're just going to need to see one guy get far enough ahead so they can block off that slide job, and right now there's just not enough between them to stop trading the slide jobs back and forth.
No, it's not. In the meantime, right now, you see it up front. Goldner does have a good move right there. Here comes Moonen back on the inside, but the battle's on there for second, third, but right back at it again. Moonen, he says, you look good, I look better. He lost momentum again. I think this might be what he needed, because too much from Moonen. He gave too much right there.
Yeah, and you might see Steven's probably far enough ahead now that he doesn't even need to block off the slider. It's going to be a chore now for Moonen to catch back up.
Oh, absolutely. And I think now Moonen's going to be like, all his cautions that I wanted, I want one now so I can get back up there and try to see if I can't get on that back bumper. He's closing back in. In the meantime, Kyle Parker's hanging on the third. Blake Chapman's up there in the top. In the fourth place, Connor Ross, and he's running that way low line there. We're not seeing really anybody run that line.
Well, I spoke too soon here. Moonen's pulled back up to Goldner 0.3 faster on that last lap and throws a slide job on Goldner through turn one.
He did. He just blasted right by him. Wasn't able to complete it all the way. I say this way. There he goes. Slide Job City to the outside, but a crisscross back around by Goldner. Yellow flag's out. I don't know who they're going to give that one back to. I know iRacing loves to give it back, but in the meantime, we'll go back to the Malcolm Mills replay and see, as it looks like a little contact, then got through up into the wall, and unfortunately the wall won. So going to give that one back to Goldner.
Yeah, and just so you know, Joe, what happens when caution laps don't count? It automatically reverts to the last completed lap where everybody completed it. So Goldner, I think, would have had it either way, whether it had given it to him at the line or not. But Moonen was real close there at the start-finish line, so I think they'll probably be a little disappointed.
Yeah, and you know, I learned that a couple weeks ago, and that's the biggest difference, like I say, between the dirt and the asphalt side of it. You know, how they do it. They don't have timing markers in dirt. They just kind of go back to the last lap. Because I was wondering the same thing. I said, man, it'd be frustrating as a driver. All that work, you get past the driver, then a caution comes out, and they got to give it right back, and you're like, really?
Yeah, especially when you have so many cautions, because you end up passing the same guy 5 and 6 times, and you just have to keep doing it.
Well, we'll see. Moonen was fast. He was able to get back up there and get around Goldner. It was a good battle between those two, as Parker's back there too. Don't count him out. Blake Chapman's rumbled up to the 4th place. Green flag. We're back racing.
Yeah, and strangely, Goldner takes the bottom there. Might have lost a little momentum, so Moonen's pulled back up to him again, but going to have to slow the slider to get around him.
I think the reason he did that is maybe to block a little bit of the move that Moonen might have backed off to try to get on him, because it's helped him so far, as Goldner's still out front. Moonen's right there in 2nd. But the man on the move right now has got to be this man in 3rd here, Blake Chapman. He's running the high line. They better watch out the top 2 guys, because Chapman's on the move.
Yeah, Moonen lost a little bit of momentum there on that last lap, tapped the outside wall and let Chapman reel him in a bit.
He did. Chapman's hanging on to 3rd. Parker falls back all the way to 5th. Garrett Pepiot's battling with him on the outside. But in the meantime, Stephen Goldner's found his groove and is rolling. But here comes Blake Chapman. He's all over the tail tank there to back in. Kyle Moonen. Moonen, I think, is now falling off just a little bit. He's going to have to figure out what he's lost on this car.
Yeah, and the battle is really heating up there right behind them. It's going to be a 5-car battle for 2nd place here in just a minute.
I see that. It's 3 wide for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Parker, Pepiot, Ross, those guys, man, tooth and nail on each other. And we're riding with Ross actually here. He's seeing what he's seeing. Man, that's a good one. He's bounced off the wall just a little bit.
And Stephen Goldner's loving this. All this battling back behind him is just he's free to get out there and run his race.
Absolutely. The Moonen's still a little bit away from it right now. He's got clean sailing. He liked it there for a moment. But you're right. The biggest guy there is Goldner. He's able to get out there, kind of run his own race, feel free. But it is still heating up, and got a car around Zach Chapman. Oh, saw him in the back there. That's in the blue car there, folks. We're going to Malcolm Mills replay here. And just caught the inside tires and threw him around.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's it's about that time where guys can start running that low line. There's that little stripe of grip down there, but it's tiny. And if you hit it just wrong, that's exactly what happens.
Well, Mooner's going to get closed up here on Goldner. No, Goldner's like, man, I was just getting in my groove. I'm out front. Wow. Trailer's open and the cool. Oh, yeah. John, he is not having the night he wanted, unfortunately. Had to send it home earlier. Well, actually, he's out there in 13th right now, so bounce back.
Yeah, he's done okay. He's just kind of been patient through the second half of the race here and has been working his way up. There's been a lot of attrition towards the back of the field. It looked like Lane might have fallen out of the race about lap 23 or so. So he's since retired his car.
Man, okay, so yeah, Hines been able to move back up to 13th. I didn't see him back out there on the track, but through all the cautions and everything else, kind of hang on, never give up. Never know what's going to happen out there. But meantime, it's all Stephen Goldner up front. Kyle Moonen's there with him. Blake Chapman's chomping at the bit there in 3rd place. Just going to give him another shot at it here as green flag's about to fly.
Yeah, and just so you know, Joe, the top 2 guys here refer to themselves as they're Canadian North American stepbrothers. They don't actually, I don't know that they've ever even met, but they're good buddies and teammates here.
Absolutely. Out front, Stephen Goldner right there. Kyle Moonen Blake Chapman and company. Top 3. Oh, contact to Kyle Parker. But he was able to hang on to it, but he went up in the wall hard. White flag, won't matter what happens here. I always say they can kill themselves, and they are 4 wide back there along with Kyle Parker and company. But meantime, up front, Moonen says, I only got one more shot at this. I'm not going to be able to get it done, as Stephen Goldner pulls it off. Moonen comes in second. Chapman holds on to third.
Yeah, I think Moonen might have tried to pass just one corner too early, but it was a good run for all 3 of those guys up front.
Yeah, I got a feeling a lot of those the late cautions might have hurt a little bit. Or maybe those cautions early on could have hurt Moonen. I mean, we've seen that a couple times in the past, where cautions hurt guys. They have a dominating car and they get slowed up so many times, and then later on in the race they just kind of fall off. I guess they just never get the groove going. So who knows? We'll have to see. But some of these guys up here and get a word with them. And looking for our
And I believe Stephen Goldner in the chat before the actually it was during the 305 race, said that he was coming in to put on a show.
He did.
So maybe a little Babe Ruth calling your shot action there. Let's grab Blake Chapman. Yep. I'll pull him up here and we'll see what he has to say about his third place finish.
Go ahead.
How you doing, Blake? It's a good run there, finishing in third. How'd your race go?
Well, I was a little bit worried at the very beginning. I got some contact there with Spees, and my spotter was telling me that I should pit in because I had damage to the left front, but I decided, screw it. I'm just going to run my race, and it was really tight coming in the corners, but I had to use the brake, and man, got really slick out there. It was tough to handle.
Yeah, I don't know if you run the 410s with us, or at least on Wednesdays real frequently. We were talking about that before the race started, and how because of the lack of consolation races, there was a whole lot more grip to start the race. Do you think that made it easier or harder because the track changed so much over the course of the race?
I think it did make it harder over the course, because right in the middle in 1 and 2, you could really get a grip, and then once that went away, I'm sure guys were really struggling that were running that line, but I knew it was going to be top heavy, and that's where I stuck with for most of the night.
Yeah, well, it seems like it really paid off for you. It was a great third place finish, and you were real patient and picked your spots real well. Anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Just Steve's Custom Clubs, Mauer Farm Management, my parents and grandparents, everybody that's watching. Happy Mother's Day to my mom, who just got second in this last ladies race.
Yeah, she did.
And for Joe putting this on every week.
Well, we appreciate it, Blake. Good run, and we hope to see you back here next week.
Thanks, Preston.
There we go. Blake Chapman, like I said, coming home in third place here tonight. But with Kyle Moonen, he tried. One position too short.
Yeah, Kyle, that was a pretty heated battle there between you and Steven. He finally got you on a slide job. How'd your race go overall there?
It wasn't too bad. Always kind of sucks being the first loser, though, for sure. But no, it wasn't too bad. Started up front, so got kind of lucky and got to stay out of the mess that was happening behind me.
Yeah, we started with a lot of cautions, and I just asked Blake about this too. I'm curious to know your opinion. We were noticing that the track was a whole lot less slick when we started because there were no consolation races. Do you think that made the track a little bit harder because it changed more over the course of the race, or for you was it basically the same?
It was. I mean, I could tell it got a lot slicker. Like the very first lap, it seemed like there was quite a bit there left in the middle of 1 and 2, but then after that caution, it was like it all just magically disappeared. So I just stuck to the top and kept it there.
Anything you think you could have done to catch Steven there at the end?
Not really. I mean, just keeping it straight, keeping the tires under it is for sure the hardest thing. I wish I wouldn't let him get around me there on that one restart and made it a little harder on him, because catching them and passing them, I think we would have just started throwing sliders back and forth there.
Yeah. Well, y'all put on a great show. Congratulations on your second place finish. Anybody you want to thank before we let you
go? Just all the guys at Bandy Built and Ross Corina, Velocity Race Designs, and you guys for the Fitz Perfect Photography. Can't forget him. Then everyone for the league and the broadcast.
Well, great run, buddy. We hope to see you back here again next week.
Yep, sounds good. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Bye.
There you go. Like you said, he came up just a little bit short, but this guy right here, he ran the top side and was able to pull it off. Stephen Golden, Joe, the boot, got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Joe.
Well, Steve, man, I tell you what, there a little bit, was you thinking you was going to be able to run down Kyle and get by him?
It was tough. I think he had a better car than me. I just, caught a brake with the caution, and I think would have had a good race there with the sliders. But I got caution came my way, and I was able to hold him off there at the end.
Oh, absolutely, definitely looked good as he was able to stay out front. Now, he was taking the line earlier on. Was that something you was kind of worried about? Because I know you love that high lane.
Yeah, I couldn't really commit early race to enter on the top and or at least corner one. I was kind of cheating it there, and that's where he was getting me. I don't know, it took me, a handful, half the race to commit to being up there so I could run some little bit better laps. I was just worried about hitting the wall.
Well, you look good as always. Like you said, you love that high side, and you was able to rumble it tonight, put it in victory lane for the 410 wing sprints. You got anybody you want to thank for it?
Yeah, I think Ross over at Velocity for making the car look good. All the guys that Bandy built for everything they do, on track, off track, everything. Wegman Brothers, Spilo.com, Dirt Doctor Trucking, Fifth Perfect Photography, you, Joe, for the broadcast and everyone that puts into that deal, and Roger and everyone at GeForce Racing Leagues.
It was a good run tonight there. Again, congratulations on that win there, Stephen.
Thanks a lot.
There we go, Stephen Golden putting it in victory lane. What a night it was here. Some action-packed racing. Preston, I tell you, it was interesting.
Yeah, it really was. And, the cautions are, it's disappointing to see a lot of cautions, but it was still a very exciting race. Lots of, we had a lot of lead changes between two guys there. And then the battle for the, that final podium position was heated the whole race. So it was still some great racing out there. And we settled in towards the end just like we thought.
Well, I hope you enjoyed it tonight. We had some awesome racing throughout here for the hometown heroes and the Icon Sim Sports. .com, Hometown Heroes. It was a good one. We're going to see you next week as we're going to have some good racing then, as always. For myself and everyone here at the GeForce Racing League, everyone have a good night.